do sound checks anymore. Even if we do, it's a drunk podcast. You know what I mean? Okay, let me move my mic closer. Forgive the bangs and the booms, as it were. Well, Des, happy birthday, sir.
Indeed.
Another year to you.
Another year going by.
Yep. Just to think, if it was 16 minutes earlier, we'd have had the same birthday. And it would have been super weird. It's another reason why it was destiny, as Gorilla Golf put it, for us to be on the show together.
Indeed.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we're like, ugh. It's like, what time did you start drinking? I don't know, 3.
I don't know. I chugged pretty much an entire Mike's Harder in about 10 minutes or boy. So.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said earlier, it gets you tipsy in about 3.5 seconds.
So basically, there goes my first can, and here's can number 2.
It's about to be a fun day for us, except for I forgot to get Mixer, so I'm using pre-workout again. Why? I could sacrifice another year of my life off drinking that shit.
Yep. And then, of course, once this plan was conceived, I realized things done messed up, because why? We got stuff to talk about again.
Yeah. We said, you know what we should do? We should do a Celebration Bitches podcast, and we should get kind of tipsy and maybe play some games or something. And then you were like, yeah. Except for when I play games, I forget I can't really do anything. And then
I kind of lose multitasking.
Yeah. Shit, I lose speech midway through the day.
Oh, wow. All right, yeah, I'm at the... So even though I have not been drinking long, my lips are already tingling. Yeah. So that's...
My tongue is kind of numb.
Yeah, I'm already getting there. It's just going to be like a snowball from here. It's going to be fantastic.
It's a cool AC/DC. We're on a highway to hell.
Indeed. So welcome aboard, fair listeners, to the first time we've really decided to go crazy and do a celebratory podcast, considering our birthdays are very close to one another. 16 minutes of separation. So it's like
16 minutes of separation.
Yeah. So we figured, why not? Because I mentioned like a week or two ago that like Tipsy Buster is one of the most hilarious things ever. So it's like, you know what? Why not drink for your birthday, right? Right? I might live to regret that decision, but here we are.
I'm going to feel this tomorrow. I'm going to be honest with you, because guess what I forgot to do, buddy? I totally forgot to get another drink as I went into the kitchen.
Ooh.
For those that didn't hear, Des is drinking Mike's Harder, which is a delicious beverage, suggesting for everyone.
Yes, it is a delicious beverage with 8% alcohol per volume. Holy balls.
Mm-hmm. I am drinking because I didn't learn from last year that maybe, just maybe, I could, I don't know, remember mixers. And I bought a bottle of Tito's, which is vodka, which is my brand of choice now, because I had a Tito's and Red Bull last night, and I was like, yo, this is delicious. And I totally forgot mixer. And what does everybody know I have in spades? I have a lot of pre-workouts, so I guess I'm going to just use pre-workout. If you're going to dance with the devil, you might as well lead, Des. That's all I'm
indeed.
Saying. That's all I'm saying.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I'm about to. As soon as you start covering the TWAB, or I'm sorry, the Game Informer stuff.
Game Informer, TWAB, which the TWAB, if you beautiful people don't know is it's got some info to it. Oh my god, it is quickly getting hard to concentrate on words. Let me tell you what. So let's do this. Iron Banner's going on because that's happening. 1.2.3 lands on Tuesday. Do that. Bounties are coming back, and they are doing the same thing that they used to do. They're giving you like experience and tokens, probably. I mean, they say like faction experience, but faction reputation. So I'm guessing that translates to tokens, probably.
Yeah.
And they can be redeemed in the field just like good old D1 days, but they're bringing those back because they didn't think people wanted to do the daily grind for the bounties. Oh, excuse me. And so now they've decided, you know what, screw it. Let's bring back the hobby and bring back the daily grind thing. Whew. This is coming on fast. All right. Like, holy crap. You know, if you don't chug in a while, like, you forget how quickly the sensations can, like, crawl up on you. Oh, I thought I had more time than this. All right.
No. I'm going to be right with you in a second, buddy. As soon as we get,
right.
as soon as you start talking more about TWAB, I'm like, I'm just going to go now. See you guys later. I'm going to go. You're going to hear a shaker cup in about 30 seconds. Just know that I'm doing this for you guys. And I love you guys.
Yeah, so there's going to be a crap ton of bounties. They're going to cost Glimmer to get a little bit because they don't want to, you know, grab all the bounties you can. Oh, God. And, yeah, anywho, that's bounties. They're coming back. Sounds like pretty much the same thing as D1. They're going to be like Taken King level of quote-unquote complicated. And in Forsaken, they'll even be able to give you legendaries. So, yeah, that's a thing. Breaking news section is a link to all these Game Informer articles. At least one of those we're going to be kind of recovering because Game Informer decided, you know what, screw you guys. We're going to detail every little bit of the supers we talked about. Mm-hmm. Wow, this is coming out really fast. Jesus Christ.
This is going to be a good day. My goal is to convince us to get drunk Iron Banner on.
Oh. So anyway, one of these articles is about the Cerberus +1 exotic auto rifle, which Bungie has not been afraid to admit is pretty much directly inspired by the spread gun from Contra and sounds amazing. I tell you what, it's really hard to read right now. It's kind of like my head won't stay still, even though my head's not moving. Figure that one out.
Those Mike's Hunters are something special.
I know, right? Jesus Christ, I love these things.
Yeah.
They don't, and that's the thing, because they don't taste too much like a wine cooler. And my God, can you actually taste that 8% alcohol? Like, Jesus, you can actually taste the alcohol. But anywho, so yeah, Cerberus +1 is like a spread weapon. It's got 4 barrels. It actually has like 4 magazines, apparently. Figure that one out, right? But it'll like go through like each magazine, basically, because basically your ammo countdown is going to hit 0 multiple times before you have to reload, because you're actually going through all 4 magazines. So what Cerberus +1 actually reminds me of is an auto rifle version of Super Good Advice. And I'm talking about Super Good Advice Year 1.
Yeah.
Because each barrel is going to have its own specific like recoil pattern and like directional shooting and such. So, you know, if you're like surrounded by a horde of enemies, you just hip fire that thing and bullets are going to go everywhere. But yeah, of course, you know, ADSing will be the most efficient, but there is at least one barrel that is always going to shoot straight. So you can always depend at least on that one barrel. It's not going to be optimal, but you have that one barrel you can depend on. It's just like that one friend you can always depend on. You know what I mean? It's like that one guy. It's like, hey, all your friends are great, but there's always that one guy you can depend on. Spoiler alert, that's not me. God, yes, this is creeping on really fast. I'm getting incoherent. But anywho, enjoy the show. Let's see here. All right. So one article, or another article, the Game Informer has been, that has published. We'll say that word because that's the proper word. Is the fact that they actually went into detail about these supers and subclasses that we have either speculated on or not gotten like a lot of information on. It's like they really go into detail about these supers now, which I'm kind of surprised that they would go into such detail about these trees and such. But anywho, you know, sadly, what I really feel like right now, I feel like Jeff Goldblum in like any role ever with the Uz, because like that's how long it takes me to like collect my thoughts. So here's another swig, because I'm going down this hole like a freaking toilet drain.
Hey man, what did I say? If we're gonna jump in, you might as well jump in head first.
I know, right? 4 may have been too many to buy, but you know what?
Fuck it.
I've got plenty.
Yeah.
Anywho, so transitioning from the TWAB to this article, which is going to be a successful transition eventually. Trust me. But like I said, they go into super detail about like all of these trees, and yeah. So they start off with the hunters because, you know, hunters are freaking amazing.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers, sir.
Health, brother.
Indeed. Here's another one.
Oh, God, that's death.
Ooh.
Oh, that's death. Maybe should have put some water in it first.
Oh.
Okay, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
It's good.
I'm good. Oh, God, I should have put water in it, then put the alcohol.
Might help.
Fuck it. I'm in too deep.
You are now.
In for a penny, in for a pound, sir. Got the
Indeed. So,
I love you, hunters. I love you guys.
Anyway, Arcstrider, Way of the Current. It's based around apparently closing distance, you know, blah, 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 developer notes. The Tempest Strike melee is indeed something that happened, you know, like I said, it's the melee that's triggered by a slide motion. And apparently the melee itself, at least the staff itself, is basically just for show. Because the actual range of the melee comes from this shockwave that the staff produces, which makes it even more amazing. Let's see, then there's the ebb and flow perk, which is what electrifies a target that you use an arc ability on. And punching electrified targets disorients them and provides grenade melee and dodge energy. So get punch happy, hunters. And then while you're doing all that punching, Lightning Weave will increase your reload speed. So get punch happy, hunters. Oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, and synergy and such. And then there's Whirlwind Guard, which, as I've mentioned before, is freaking amazing because you block shots, and suddenly your staff gets triple damage. Because what's there not to love about triple damage? Right?
Yeah.
Alright. So some actual important information, though, comes in the Gunslinger Way of 1,000 Cuts. Because now, thanks to the video that they also have, which I highly recommend watching, of course, because it's designer, I don't know his title, but Claude Jerome, that guy. They actually like gives a little more details, and they show these supers in action like way better than the GIFs in the article. So I'm still not 100% sure what the knife trick melee is. But of course we know about the Burning Edge, which while your enemies are burning, it refills your dirge. Jesus. Playing with fire, which will grant you energy for knife trick if you manage to kill burning enemies. And then there's Blade Barrage, which is apparently a pure damage super. Now, what we found out about this, thanks to this article and the video companion, I guess, of it. Whew, words are hard right now. But,
breathing's hard.
Chugging may not have been my, I may have been able to take that first drink a little slower. And by a little slower, I mean way slower. Because this is hitting me way harder than I anticipated.
How was this easy for us when we did the drunk raid? How did I drink this when we did the drunk raid?
Tell me about it, because I chugged like 3 beers to catch up because I was late. And I still did stuff.
Oh, God, it's death.
I know. I feel like if I don't actively think about breathing right now, I might die.
I don't know why I was like, okay, cool, so it's 8 ounces of water and 1 scoop. So I'll do 8 ounces of vodka and 1 scoop. Not thinking I should probably make the drink like it was a mixer and then put vodka in it on top because, normal people would do that, I guess. Don't do
Buster is anything but normal.
Yeah.
Take this as a PSA.
I'm a special fucking snowflake.
A, don't use pre-workout as mix.
Never.
B, don't chug a Mike's Hard like 24-ounce can. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. God, trust me. Anywho. It's like, wow, this is hitting me harder than it was a couple days ago. Oh. Wow.
I'm going to have a hard time keeping this episode recording. I'm going to have to keep looking all the time.
I know, right? Like, right now, watching notifications pop up on the screen is an extremely hard task.
Hey, guys, happy Guardian Con.
Happy Guardian Con. All you lucky pieces of crap able to go to Guardian Con like Drafty.
Yeah. When you guys are at Guardian Con. One of these years, Des and I will be there.
We'll be there.
We'll do this live.
Exactly. You'll be able to see us drunk live. Probably. Because, you know what? First time me and Buster meet live, we're getting drunk.
Oh, we're getting
it's
drunk.
happening.
Yeah. Probably
it's
hug.
happening.
Probably hug.
Oh, most definitely hug. Yeah. Jesus. Might dry hump you. Anyway.
I mean, you're big, so I mean, I have, you're kind of a bigger dude, so I might just have to accept it. I mean, I wouldn't stop you anyway. I mean, fuck, it's me. Everybody knows.
Oh, God. Right. Anyway, Jesus. Hunter Wave 1,000 cuts. The Blade Barrage Super, we now have more details on it. This is, of course, not a roaming super like Golden Gun. You actually throw out like a preset number of knives whenever you activate it. And I think it has to be an aerial activation. So there is kind of like a catch to this. And apparently Game Informer is saying like they've been able to get away with 2 activations, but this is like a burst damage super. Mm-hmm. What happens is when you get in the air, you activate super, and you basically throw a crap ton of knives. Now, this also kind of works like McCree's ultimate in Overwatch, in the fact that it auto-targets a certain amount of enemies. So if there's like 5 enemies, okay, so the number of knives that go out during activation is like preset. So the fewer enemies there are, there's more damage. So if there's like 5 enemies, then that means the knives are more spread out. But if there's only 1 enemy, then every knife is going into that 1 enemy, so they're taking like the full brunt, the full damage of the super. Which I think I may have directly quoted that video I saw. But anywho, Night Stalker, Way of the Wraith. Because again, I'm super happy about Blade Dancer coming back, and that's pretty much nothing new except for the corrosive smoke apparently explodes in a line. Cool.
So would the knives be like Nova Bomb back in the day was Shatter? How they would send 3 out, but if they were closer together, would it do more damage? Maybe is that?
Well, like I said, each knife basically does its own like damage, but the super is basically just throwing knives, and like it takes a second, and then they explode. So like I said, depending upon the amount of targets that are directly in front of you, depends on like how much damage that target is going to receive.
Okay.
So if there's a boss right in front of you, then he's going to get a crap ton of damage. But if there's like 10 trash mobs in front of you, they're probably still going to die, but it's not as much damage overall. Jesus, why is it so hard to breathe?
Because you forgot to think about it for a second.
It's like talking is kind of like running a marathon right now.
Oh, my tongue is kind of numb right now too, which is really fun.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah, so if I sound like an out of shape fat guy, I'm sorry, but I kind of am. So, so Way of the Wraith, yeah. Corrosive Smoke is like in a line. We already know Spectral Blades are like Blade Dancer. It's coming back, yay. Which is fantastic. Like, oh my god, I can't wait to get my hands on that. So Sentinel, Code of the Commander is the rally. The Banner Shield Super. And now we actually get a video to see what that looks like. And this is, I wouldn't exactly call it a wall of light, as we've been described. I mean, it's the best words we have, yes. But this is like literally like a half a bubble that the Sentinel can summon in front of it. It is crazy. It is amazing, too. And then we get like these, the controlled demolition, the explosives. Claude Jerome has been able to properly explain, I guess, the visuals of kind of like what they're like, and of course they're these explosives, and you actually have to do a fair amount of damage to them to get them to explode. So you basically kind of got to think of them as a balloon. And you do a little bit of damage and they swell up. You do a little bit of damage, they swell up. You do a little more damage and then they explode. And they attach other detonations to things caught in their explosion. I feel like I'm talking too fast. I feel like it. Probably not. But, you know. Or it could be. Crap, I don't know right now. I'm at like the third stage right now. I've went from feeling kind of tipsy to whoo, and like the time we've started recording, in case you haven't been able to tell. Which, yeah, chances are you've been able to tell way easier than me. You're probably listening to this going, duh, you're drunk, Raven. And you're not wrong. At all. Anywho. So, which I'm trying to like get myself a little more collected, but at the same time, yeah, I'm kind of drunk right now. Striker, Code of the Missile, is a missile. Ballistic Slam is like, literally is D1 Death from Above. It's difficult to hear people say it that way, but once you actually look at this video, it is literally D1 Death from Above. You like jump into the air, you activate the melee, and you go at this angle towards like the nearest enemy. It is literally D1 Death from Above.
I fell. I'm okay.
That's good.
I fell. I'm okay.
It is way too early for you to be falling, man.
I've had a few already.
I know.
Oh boy. Oh, I can feel my heart in my neck.
Right?
Plus, I fell over Pete, which, you know, it's understandable.
Surprised he didn't give out. So Code of the Missile, the Striker Titan, new one.
Mm-hmm. It is the Superman pose, too.
It is definitely a Superman pose, like, whenever you activate. And, like I said, the Ballistic Slam is definitely Death from Above. Like, it is the same, like, angle edge, as, like, D1 Death from Above, too, but it's a regular melee. It's like, why, Bunchy? Why? Sunbreaker, Code of the Devastator. You get Throwing Hammer melee, which is literally a throwing hammer that appears in the world. So you can literally live out that Thor power fantasy that you always wanted to.
Mm-hmm. You can pick it up and then it fully regenerates your melee.
I know, right? That's gonna be like, the more I think about that, the more crazy that is. Like, holy crap! You basically have unlimited melees as long as you're able to pick up your hammer. But yeah, because that's the thing. It makes me wonder, like, if a melee cooldown would be useless. But I'm guessing that your cooldown is like the backup, as in just in case A, you can't pick up your hammer, or B, maybe you accidentally throw your hammer into a void that you can pick it up from, because that's probably going to be me a few times. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing really new information wise there from this very nice in-depth article that you can totally read yourself, just in case I'm making absolutely no sense, which, trust me, is entirely possible right now. Dawnblade, the Attunement of Grace. We're going right into, for Warlocks. Did I actually go through all of the Titans? Yeah, I went through all the Titans. Holy crap. Anyway. It's the support class, because, you know, everyone needs a healer, and now we actually have a healer. So, no real new information there, except for the fact that your normal rift does not stack with the Well of Radiance Super Rift. We do have that information already. So you can't, like, place down your Super Rift and then place, like, an Empowering Rift to get, like, super damage on things. It's not going to work that way. So that's early information that's not going to work. But that's, you know, I mean, you still have it, you know. Like, say you drop a super, and then you could drop, like, a regular rift or whatever, you know, whatever. Stormcaller, Attunement of Control. Again, no new real information there, except for the fact that Pulse Wave is coming back, which is the D1 perk, that if you are critically injured, that means you and your entire nearby allies get a boost to your movement speed. So that's coming back in this new tree. Also, I like the fact that Claude Jerome said that in development, the ionic traces were called ley lines in development. I really would have preferred that name, because that makes sense, but at the same time, I can understand that, you know, not everybody knows what a ley line is. So, that's cool. And they are working on, because someone on Twitter or somewhere made a good point that Chaos Reach could possibly be abused, because you could, like, use just a little bit of your super, let it go, and then you have, like, seconds before your super's back or whatever. But there is going to be a very slight loss of super meter when you stop activating it earlier. So you activate it and then you stop it, and then you're going to lose just a little bit more for stopping it early. So that way there's no possibility of, like, abusing it and just being able to reactivate. So they are thinking, like, there's no solid, like, amount just yet of how much you're going to lose, like, automatically just for stopping it. But like I said, there's that they're going to be working on. So then there's the Voidwalker Attunement of Fission, which is crazy anime teleports with self-detonation, which we have a lot of new information about this, because the self-detonation is chargeable. So depending on how much you charge the energy for, basically it depends upon the size of the explosion you let off. So max charge is the biggest area of effect, but in things like, PvP, you can just, like, do these massive teleports and do this small charge and probably take everyone out that's around you. But then again, like I said, not as big of an area of effect. But apparently the teleport is going to be your melee button while in super. So spam the holy crap out of that. As I pause to catch my breath, because, God, I feel like I'm running a marathon, and take another drink.
Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to get that half bubble. And then
I know, right?
And put orbs on people, because everybody knows what I'm going for first. Come on now. If you don't know, now you know. It's the Sentinel. So.
For sure. Oh, and Game Informer has confirmed that the healing on this Attunement of Fission is not like Devour. It's not a restore your health until full thing. It is a small amount of health. So, yeah, that's the difference between it and Devour. Devour just keeps healing until, or basically starts regeneration, and then Attunement of Fission Dark Matter is just going to give you a chunk of health. So that's the difference there. That's it. I just said a thing as if I was going to continue, but that is all the supers.
And that is all.
And there is like an entire way that they've apparently changed flashpoints. Trust me, I'm not going to be able to go through this and like summarize it on the fly like I normally do. Read it. It's probably amazing. They're doing things to lost sectors, and they're somehow going to tie into flashpoints now. That's all I know. Oh, and the fact that flashpoints are going to be a 4-day refresh now, like once Forsaken comes out.
So we'll be able to get more powerful gear more quickly, is what that
Exactly,
means.
because I think the only thing that's staying a weekly refresh is raid stuff. So like every other milestone you have is going to be on, sounds like it's going to be on a 4-day refresh. Which, yeah, like I said, pretty much means you're going to be able to get more powerful gear more often.
Yep.
Except for the raid.
Except for the raid.
Not going to happen. Oh, good God. But,
Whether my ears are tingling.
oh, yeah. Oh, jeez. Dropping things now. Anywho. Let me see. There is also some Game Informer article information that we haven't gone over before. But thanks to the amazing people on Reddit for summarizing the article, we do have some of that information now, like the lesser scorn enemies. But of course, there's like a bunch of spoilers in this article, and I hope to God I'm not drunk enough not to read one. I might, and I apologize. So preemptive spoiler warnings? Possibly. Maybe not. But possibly. The chance is there. So yeah, they do go over like the new Scorn enemies, which I guess this kind of is a spoiler to some kind of people. But there are mongrels, which the only description they have is that they towered over the battlefield, blasting out cascades of lightning that are near impossible to dodge.
Oh, fun.
Tell me about it. Like, holy balls. Anywho, and then we have the arachnid like Screeb, which scramble on all fours and explode like cursed thralls, only bigger. Huh. Yeah, because, what did cursed thrall need? Bigger explosions, of course.
Bigger boom.
Duh. There are the raiders that send out spinning explosive saw blades of void energy.
That's what we saw that everybody thought was the new super.
Could be. Oh, yeah, and they teleport, because why not, right? The lurkers carry small gladiatorial shields which block shots until they are hit in the leg. Sound familiar, anybody? Year one D1 Cabal phalanxes. That used to be their gimmick. You shoot them in the foot, and they get all stunned. But now you shoot them in the big red glowy spot, and then they get stunned.
They used to be adventurers until they took an arrow in the knee as well.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Moving right past that one.
Oh, Jesus!
Ravagers. They're the ones that hold the spinning lanterns, which, when slammed into the ground, create a spout of solar flame, unless the lanterns are shot. How are you going to shoot those lanterns? Like, they actually swing them pretty quickly. If you can hit one of them lanterns, Jesus, okay. And then there are wow. Okay, deep breaths. Takes a little bit slower. Then there are the chieftains. Guess what? They're like the captains. Don't see how they made that analogy, right? And their thing is apparently that they throw out totems. A solar totem is basically a dangerous spinning turret of flame. I want to see those, because those sound amazing.
Those do sound fun.
Void totems give shields to nearby enemies. I mean, makes sense. Now, here's the kicker. The Arc Totems attract the Guardian to the totem center, leaving them unable to move until they are destroyed. So, Arc Totems are the ones that are the black holes. You would think that would be void, but it's not. It's Arc. Whew. All right. And there is a note that the Scorn are apparently going to be the most aggressive of D2's enemy types. So, swiggity swoo, they're coming for that booty.
I like what you did there, Des.
I know, right? Let's see. More stuff about... We know about that stuff. Kate dies. We know it. Each subclass gets a new tree. Yeah. Like I said, this is the older information, so you know. But apparently there are going to be 3 subclass trees available on day 1, and then 1 or 2 weeks before you can earn another few? Question mark? I've heard someone else mention something about this, and so we're actually technically getting more than 9 subclass trees? That's going to be a little crazy.
Yeah.
So yes, Forsaken's campaign will take place in the Tangled Shore. Of course, we know about the Tangled Shore. But yeah, the regular Fallen will clash against the Scorn, the Hive, and the Scattered Red Legion enemies in the Tangled Shore. So yeah, so they're basically like any other enemy ever in Destiny. They will fight each other until they see you.
And then they're like, everyone get them!
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
Sort of. They do mention, though, so spoiler warning here, they do mention the vendor of the Tangled Shore is actually a Fallen called the Spider. Yes, his name is Spider. And he's apparently a big Fallen captain.
I was going to say, is he a hacker? Because please let him be a hacker.
But yeah, apparently there's an uneasy alliance between the Guardian and the Spider. His spikeback Fallen enforcers often accompany the Guardian on subsequent adventures, lending support while rarely wading into the most dangerous confrontations. So apparently there's a little more of that NPC interaction that a lot of people have been asking for. Kind of mimicking, MMOs, which Destiny keeps doing. But yeah, things about that. Oh yeah, because there's a thing. Yeah, so eventually Spider asks you to hunt down outlaws, and these outlaws can apparently be everywhere, including high-level lost sectors and in the middle of Gambit matches. So that actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
The fact that you basically have to go everywhere to try and figure out where the crap is this guy that this dude wants me to kill. I really like that. They also go over, because apparently this article went over a quick thing about all of the Barons, which we already know about. But apparently, again, spoiler warning here. But apparently, the campaign is kind of more or less tied to these Barons, and it's a little less linear up until you get to the last one, I guess, and then it becomes more like a linear Destiny campaign. So there is that. But apparently you fight. Oh Jesus! I just clicked a thing. I went away from there. It is. Yeah, the Meeting for Second Campaign deals with the Barons and the Baron hunts. And of course, each Baron name is rooted in a Western archetype. Yeah, after 6 of the Barons are dead, the game moves back to a more linear path. Then you kill 2 more Barons, and then you fight. What's his nuts? Oh, yeah. Trickster. Yeah, this is again going about the Barons, which you already know. The Barons themselves are reminiscent of strike boss encounters. Blah, blah, blah. A little bit of weapons. All right, so there's a new public event called Cryo Cell Escape, where a cell from the Prison of Elders crashes down, and enemies try to retrieve their captive leader. After a few waves, the pods will open, and you'll fight the leader once held in the cell.
So the Archon pre-strike, basically?
Yeah, as a public event. I mean, essentially. The lost sectors in the Tangled Shore are apparently going to be more nuanced. Because here's the thing. Apparently one will contain a fallen black market fighting ring. And you'll be able to, you'll have a chance to learn about the Fallen's bizarre take on a dance club. I want to rave with the Fallen. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, give me my glow sticks. I'm going to rave.
Now they gotta play the Blade theme from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Then we gotta kill everybody. I want it.
Anywho, so there's, again, story stuff that I'm not gonna spoil. But also, ammo type is not going to be directly tied to weapon slots anymore. This is like one of those things going on with the weapon slot changes. Here's because I found this like super, super interesting. So ammo type is now connected to the specific type of weapon you're using. So the things that are using primary, or the primary and secondaries, using the white ammo, are going to be auto rifles, bows, hand cannons, pulse rifles, scout rifles, sidearms, and SMGs. Those are all white ammo guns. Green ammo guns are going to be breech-loaded grenade launchers, aka single-shot grenade launchers, fusion rifles, shotguns, snipers, and trace rifles. And just in case you don't know what a trace rifle is, Cold Heart / Prometheus lens. Mm-hmm. They're the only two right now. Yeah. And the purple ammo guns are drum-loaded grenade launchers.
Play of the game.
Linear fusion rifles, rocket launchers, and swords. And that's how, like, those are going to be changing. And hilariously, Hawthorne's Field Forge shotgun is going to be a kinetic weapon. Mm. Excuse me? A kinetic weapon? That one? You kidding me? Mm. Okay, alright. I got you, Bungie. I got you.
You elegant bastards.
Alright. Oh yeah, and main ingredient will be in the energy slot. Of course, it's a fusion rifle, right? Yeah. I'm hoping that they give not the trace, not trace rifles, but the linear fusion rifles. Not that they're bad, but I'm hoping if they're going to be, power only, I'm kind of hoping they might get another buff. If they're going to be, maintain power slot. Home or whatever. Words definitely are not mine right now. But I'm finally able to breathe normally, so that's a good thing.
You're at the point now that you don't have to think about it, it just kind of happens anymore?
Yeah, it kind of happens again. I had to relearn how to breathe, essentially. And I don't feel like I ran a marathon every time I say a sentence. So yeah, this is more about the story, which I'm not going to say about. Oh yeah, the Dreaming City is the long-hidden home of the Awoken. Just like the Tangled Shore, the Dreaming City is a full-size destination about the size of Nessus. Nessus isn't small. Mm-mm. It's like I'd say it's like the second largest destination we have right now, right behind the EDZ. So the fact that we're getting 2 more Nessus destinations, it's actually pretty good. That's definitely bigger than both Mars and Mercury. Definitely.
You could spit the distance of Mercury, though.
Yeah, no, right. But yeah, and apparently you don't go to the Dreaming City at all during the campaign, which makes sense considering it's the end game destination. If you went there during the campaign, I don't feel like it would have been quite, end gamey. Okay, so here's the thing. Forsaken will move the level cap to 50. Are you freaking kidding me, Bungie? Because right now our level cap is what, 25?
Yeah.
And they're giving us like 25 more levels?
Double.
What the crap, Bungie? What are you doing to me? Like, legitimately. And the power cap will be 600. Okay. Alright. And apparently the Dreaming City will be the most picturesque work the developers have ever produced. And here's the thing. Spoilers again. But here's one thing that makes the Dreaming City so special. It is affected by the Taken.
So it changes.
So yeah, apparently the Dreaming City is only like half the destination because the other half is the part of the Dreaming City that is pulled into the Ascendant Realm. So yeah, because the Dreaming City exists in both planes. And as they said, will take weeks to unravel the mystery. And there will be a 3-week cycle. And Petrovenge will be the Dreaming City vendor. Makes sense, really.
Yeah.
To be honest. But yeah, new missions, of course, Dreaming City, blah, blah, blah. There will be another new public event in a tower defense style called Rift Generator, where you power up an awoken attack pillar to hold off a Scorn invasion. Kind of sounds like an escalation protocol. Mm-hmm. And apparently loot caches will provide offerings to take to the Blind Well, which is a new take on wave-based fights like Court of Oryx, Archon's Forge, and Escalation Protocol. So we're getting another one of those in Forsaken. It's happening. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Spoiler stuff that I'm not divulging right now. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Because apparently one thing that Bungie mentioned was that they were surprised that D2 didn't have the same staying power as D1. Which, of course, led them to working on things like Masterworks, Escalation Protocol, Exotic Quests. No duh. They kind of said that before. And to another question is like, does the expansion pass mean no more story content? They say no, lore, story, and characters are always important to experience in Destiny. The expansion pass is moving away from the one-and-done nature of the story campaigns from DLC past. It focuses on replayable experience and content that extends the game, which basically is more vague lore, less overt story. That's what it sounds like to me. Which I'm kind of cool with that, because I liked Grimoire. Vague stories are amazing. Mm-hmm. We did like an entire thing of it, which sadly isn't available on most podcasting apps, because most podcasting apps stop at episode 13. That's like the furthest you can go back, at least right now, as of recording. Once we put this up, it might be like 14 or 15. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But if you want to go back all the way to the back, go to Libsyn.com.
You could totally get it.
RNGCast, and you can go all the way back from our RSS feed.
Take it way back.
Yes.
When
we
did the crazy intros and the...
I know, right?
Oh, boy.
You act like Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Taking it in the way back. Then, of course, they talk about the shift change of Destiny. Forsaken. It's happening. It's darker. Are they getting rid of the humor? No, it's still going to be there, but it's going to be darker. So, yeah. And apparently the director is being redesigned for Forsaken. Blah, blah, blah. Flashpoints now reset every 4 days. Raids are still on weekly. Oh, yeah, individual strikes are coming back to destination maps. Yay. Because for some reason, a lot of the community are complaining about that. I don't see why. But, you know what? I'm not you, so... And apparently one of the new strikes goes through the Prison of Elders to dodge trains and fight on an old battlefield only familiar to original Destiny players.
Oh, yes.
Calling Exodus Blue. Maybe. Or that one place on Mars where everything goes all dark and is called a terminus because it's like a subway station. Ship sparrows, ghost shells, emote shaders, emblems, exotics, and year 1 armor weapons are retrievable from collections. For sure. Year 1 armor weapons not getting random rolls. For sure. The vault is expanding to 500 slots from our current 300. Yay.
More stuff.
Yes. Crap. Let me tell you what.
I think I might grab me a couple mics harder tomorrow.
No, right? I am like really fighting the urge to having to go pee right now.
Yeah, if I survive.
You know what? I'm going to call an improvised pee break because
go ahead. I can talk.
Yeah.
Of course, I can talk.
This being drunken, I don't have my normal bladder, so I apologize, Revolution, but I'll be back.
Yeah. So, guys, let me just talk to you a little bit about how excited I am for this new expansion. One, I'm really excited because it gives me more stuff to play with everyone, and I loved playing this game with people. And as Des has probably said about 1,000,001 times, playing Destiny when I'm super hyped up and crazy is amazingly fun. And here's a fun little fact if you didn't know, I get super hyped up. Also, I think I might die because I am super fucked up right now, and I am a little weird. So, I'm just waiting for Des to get back. Let me see what else we talk about here. As much as I say I don't like you Warlocks, I like you guys. I like Warlocks. Warlocks are just fine with me. Everybody's like, oh, Titan Master Class. Oh, Warlock Master Class. How about we're just Guardians? Why don't we all just be friends? Jesus Christ, people. Come on now. We can have a good time together. But I really probably should not have gotten pre-workout as a mixer. I am... It's a weird mix between hyped up and about to black out. Man, I should have went pee with Des because I got to pee now too. Man, this is a train wreck podcast.
It is. It's awful. It's horrible. But here we are for you guys.
Fuck it.
Because we figure, you know, what's more fun than Des and Buster drunk, right?
Yeah.
Please tell me you agree. Please, for the love of God.
I mean, I agree. I feel like I'm going to die.
I know, right? Anywho, so as I was picking up, triumphs, where I know about those, because some of those are in-game triumphs are coming Tuesday because of patch notes and crap. The mod system is being overhauled. That's coming in Forsaken. Now, they're saying that it will feature less conditions, such as like subclasses or specific weapon requirements, but rather allow for more specialized gear. So examples that they have given are adding mods that increase in-air accuracy or increase damage against vehicles, which sounds like it doesn't make sense, but remember, one of the Barons is a vehicle person.
On a pike.
Yes. Oh, wow. triumphs, new lore readable in games such as the Awoken Sacred Sass. Apparently, there will be 10 to 15 new stories to discover. Nice. And apparently, they wanted to tell a story about where Varix has been. You missed Varix, yes.
Kexus, the betrayed. I miss you, buddy.
I know, right? Servers +1, we talked about. Oh yeah, the Drifter, which is the Gambit NPC guy. Mm-hmm. He is not a guardian. He's just a dude. But hey, Keenan and Kel has taught us we're all dudes.
Hey man, that was a good one.
Thank you. New PvP New PvP maps and modes won't be available immediately at Forsaken launch. Will be a few weeks after. And there's a new game mode called Breakthrough, which is definitely one thing we have not talked about because, again, I'm not subscribed to Game Informer, and all this information is pirated off Reddit. Pirated? Quoted. We'll use that term. That's friendly. Off Reddit. Because, you know, Reddit doesn't stand for things that are illegal, right? Right? Anyhow. We'll go with that.
Yeah, well, sometimes you guys aren't Cheeto-fingered, you know, guys.
But yeah, so Breakthrough is a new competitive game mode. So it's 4v4, no map, or radar, map, Jesus. No radar, all that nonsense. And it sounds like an attack and defend game mode, which I use that terminology. I forget what it was called in Unreal Tournament, but Unreal Tournament had a game mode like this. Which I know there's a bunch of, like, Overwatch has it, and it's like you go on attack and you like capture a point, or you capture a couple points, and depending upon your progress, and then you defend where you don't have to capture points, but you have to stop the other team from capturing points. It's like it's an Overwatch. It was back in Unreal Tournament, but in Unreal Tournament, it had a very specific like objectives to do, where you had to like go into this area and like activate this computer or these circuit breakers or, you know, this thing and the other, and the other team's objective was to stop you from doing that thing. So yeah, so there's like this. This also reminds me of the level of jumpiness. But it also reminds me in The Last of Us multiplayer. I think it was called Survival, where for a certain amount of the game, every time you executed an enemy teammate, or not teammate, but player, you would get like a certain amount of like a code. And if you filled up that code first, then your enemy's safe box is revealed. So then you had like 3 tiers of like progress to go through to unlock that safe box and then win the game. So that's kind of what this game mode is. What happens is there's a quote-unquote breaker, which is a capture zone, like in the middle of the map. And it is a free-for-all for this capture zone. Whoever gets the breaker, the enemy, like, capture zone, essentially, I forget what they call it. Okay, so they do call it a vault. If you capture the breaker, then you reveal their vault. And then you have to go and capture their vault to win the game. So it is slightly an objective mode, as long as you're on the, quote, offense. But if you're on the defense, then it's basically a team deathmatch mode, because that's how you stop them from getting the objective. And that's how that works. So it almost also pretty much exactly works like, or sort of works like, Paladin Siege mode. For those 2 of you out there that listen that will play Paladins.
We're going to talk about that a little bit, too.
We certainly can, because, guy, we can't put those patch notes any worse than we have these.
Yeah, fuck it.
That's the Game Informer crap
also,
that I'm going to talk about. Because holy crap!
Also, I felt the rage build up inside me because you can bring in this game mode that, let's just be honest, whatever. It's like Gambit. It's like half a Gambit just without the enemies. But you can't bring me fucking Rift. You have the goddamn mechanics already built in, Bungie.
I know, right? It's like severely disappointed that the new game mode is something completely new, which normally I'm not disappointed by. But this time, completely disappointed in the fact that the new game mode is an actual new game mode.
Yeah. I want you to lie to me. Say it's a new game mode. Put a new spin on it. I don't give a shit. You give me I'm open emote and a pass and catch mechanic that you gave me in the story mode, which goddamn made my proverbial Rift dick hard. And now all of a sudden you're like...
Proverbial nothing.
No,
like, oh my god.
There was no proverbial. You're right. It was
that was full mass. That was like... Yeah, that was in life full mass.
Yeah.
Like...
You almost heard me spit on my hand.
There you go.
Oh boy, here we go. It's all downhill for me, folks.
Oh, it's been downhill from here. We're finally hitting close to rock bottom now.
Oh god. You know what? It's not even taste. I know we were in trouble when I took a swig, and I was like, it doesn't taste that bad.
Exactly. Once you lose taste buds, you know you're too far gone.
Might as well just accept fate.
Yeah. So coming attractions 1.2.3 is coming. I said that like 30 minutes ago, something like, I don't know. I can't keep a track of time right now. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it felt like to me, it took me like 3 hours to get through all that information. That's what it felt like to me. And then I look at the time, it's like, it's been an hour. I know, right? It's like, holy balls.
It's not like we don't have to talk about on other things.
I mean, we do, thankfully. But, so 1.2.3 is coming. Some things that are coming is like PC clan chat. Yay! Anyway, to all you guys that really want to, come across problems and have to run the same ship shaders, sparrows, and ghosts because, PC gaming is so amazing. Unlimited frames!
Oh,
and then sudden, Murphy's Law tech problems. Because, screw you if your graphics card wants to just force an update on you, and then all of a sudden Destiny 2 doesn't want to work. This is why I play console now. Honestly, that's why I play console now, because God, PC gaming is just too complicated, man. Yes, it's pretty, it's beautiful, it's like the pinnacle of orgy candy stuff, God, yeah, it's going downhill from here. Anyway.
orgy.
Yes, orgy. But, so yeah, it's the pinnacle of that. That's true. But boy, do you have to deal with a whole lot of bullshit to get that. Like, a lot. And it's not even, apparently obvious stuff that you have to go through. It's stuff that's going to, creep up on you. Like, a year later, you're going to have this... Again, like I said, maybe your graphics card wants to force an update that D2 isn't ready for. Guess what? Your graphics company doesn't care. It's going to force the update. And D2 is going to be like, we got to catch up here. So yeah, and that's what happens. Anywho, another thing that's happening in 1.2.3 is that once all Mercury Forge weapons have been obtained, they become available for direct purchase from Brother Vance. Yay, that's good. Oh, Jesus. That's good stuff right there. They're removing momentum from heroic adventures. Oh, God, I'm super pretty hiccupy right now.
It's all that carbonation.
I know. Oh. So, yeah, thank goodness for that, because momentum sucks. Mm-hmm. It really does. It's fine if you have multiple people, but if you're trying to solo something and you get momentum, it's like, oh, just kill me now. Oh yeah, the pursuits part of your inventory is going to be moved to the top of the list. So you're going to go through pursuits before you go through all of your consumables and stuff. So that's nice. And this is something I've wondered they haven't done for a long time anyway, but they are finally adding commas to numbers as separators in the in-game Carnage report and post-game Carnage reports. Bungie. It is seriously taking you like 5 years to add commas to that crap? It's like, come on. Come on. I know that's a small thing to be like fickle about, but seriously, you've had 5 years to think, hey, maybe we should put some commas in here. Come on. Jesus.
Little things like commas make us mad when we're drunk.
Commas make me mad because it's okay. It's kind of like one of those pride points, basically, because people think that sometimes I get low damage in raids, and they don't realize it's like my number's higher.
Yeah,
it just like like the digits fit closer together, so people think the number's smaller. But then you go places and it's like, no, I've got like 3 million and some odd damage, and y'all have got like 1. But yeah, so yeah, that's pride point. So it's going to make it easier for other people to distinguish just how awesome you are. God, you know what I've discovered? Like between like a couple nights ago and tonight, I'm like a cocky bastard when I'm drunk. I really am.
I think what it is that's deep down inside of you. It's just that you kind of like hold it back when you're not drunk.
I decide not to be a douchebag when I'm sober, and then when I'm drunk, it's like
I wouldn't say douchebag.
I'm sorry. This level of cocky though, that's douchebaggery. That's definitely douchebaggery.
I mean,
it is. I mean, it's okay. I'm fine with it. I'm drunk. I really don't care.
Some would say douchebaggery. I like it.
I mean, yeah. But you know, you're also a little bit of a douchebag yourself. I mean,
for sure.
I mean, you know,
I admit it.
We're very similar in many
qualities. You ever play PvP with me and I start cussing people out saying fucked up shit? You're like, God damn, Buster.
You've been a douchebag, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, but also in 1. Is this 1.2.3 or? Oh no, since the release of 1.1.3. So anywho, so they're changing some of the modifiers. When I say modifiers, I mean heroic strike modifiers. They're changing those in 1.2.3. Some of those. Blackout is not going to be a one-hit kill from enemies. It's going to hurt, but it's not going to instantly kill you. So, thank you, Bungie. Grounded, they're basically trying to adjust the threshold to basically qualify. Basically, they're trying to find out essentially the exact definition of what height you have to be from the ground to be considered jumping. Because apparently there's some issue about you're technically not jumping, but for some reason your guardian has left the ground, so the game considers you to be jumping and you die super fast for whatever reason. They're trying to smooth that out.
Like if you step off of a ledge.
Yeah, exactly. So they're trying to create like a distance definition that if you're so far above the ground, you're considered jumping, but if you're not considered jumping. So it's going to help those situations, essentially. And then there's glass, where your armor is reduced, but your recovery is super, like, on steroids. But yeah, they have apparently slightly reduced the impact of this modifier to better enable players to see the effects of their overall power progression over time. Which kind of sucks, because I like glass the most. Because let me tell you, when they say, like, your recovery is increased, holy Christ, do you recover in, like, a half a second as a hunter? Jesus.
It's like Grenadier. I love playing Grenadier, because that shit is just instantaneous.
I know, right? So, yeah, so that's the thing. I liked it, but they're apparently modifying it to where, you know, you're not such a glass cannon, essentially. That's what it sounds like. Which kind of sucks. The Prismatic Matrix. Jesus, they did a freaking Matrix movie pun that fell right into that hole because of my mind. So yeah, the prismatic matrix is actually going to go away for a while. Because apparently it was a predictable path to drop like fewer duplicate items, but but their original plan was for it to be like limited. So it's going to go away. Because yeah, the original intent was for it to be a special event. Something to help players round out their collections as the odds of earning the items that were eluding them improved as they continued to earn bright engrams. So yeah, so they actually had a limited number of weeks scheduled designed to keep repetition to a minimum. That schedule is actually coming to an end. So the feature will be on temporary hiatus starting next week. But they have gotten a lot of feedback about this feature, and they learned how they can make it better. So they will continue to support it in Forsaken. But of course, they look forward to your continued feedback, and they are excited to relaunch the Prismatic Matrix in the next season of Destiny 2. So it's coming back, but it's going away for a short time.
So spend your keys this week.
Oh yeah, for sure. Spend your keys. Spend all your keys. Which, hilariously, I haven't even really been spending my keys that much. And, like, every week after the first one, I only have, like, 1 or 2 things in the Matrix to even get. So, I thought I was going to be, like, hoarding keys like crazy to be able to get stuff. No. Like, not at all, really. Maybe I've just had good RNG during that, or, you know, maybe not. Maybe that's how it just works in general, but I kind of like the Prismatic Matrix. Like,
I do. I actually like it too, man. Like,
yeah, I like it.
It gave me the cool emote this week of Awakening the Warmind.
Nice.
And then I have 2 more to spend, so I might as well fucking spend them.
Yeah, might as well, because yeah, next week they'll be gone. So yeah, that actually gives a pretty cool like visual feedback of just how much you do actually get out of a bright engram. Because like I said, I figured I'd be saving keys like most of the time, but I actually end up using as soon as I get them now, because I only have like I'll look in the matrix like, oh, there's only like 2 things I need to get. So yeah, I'm just gonna spin the key as soon as I earn it.
It's a coin toss.
Exactly. And like hilariously, even though like I think there was one week there was like an ornament. Can't remember what ornament it was, because yeah, that shows how much I really wanted it. But it was like an ornament or one of the pieces of like the Eververse armor. And it's like, well, either way, it's going to get rid of it on my knockout list. So I used the key. It was a coin toss. Oh, I got the Eververse armor piece. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I got some bright dust. But I think it was like 2 or 3 bright engrams later, I ended up getting that ornament that I didn't earn from the Prismatic Matrix. And it's like, oh, okay. I got it anyway.
Thank you.
So yeah, so of course, movies of the week are movies of the week. And this TWAB has been brought to you by Deej for the first time in a long time. Why? Because, well, Cosmo and Damage, DMG, are at we're flying to GuardianCon at that point in time. Because GuardianCon is the thing that's happening. We'll be there one year, we swear. It's going to happen. And it's going to be amazing, the amount of you people we see.
A lot of
hugs. A lot of hugs. Like, for sure, we're going to meet Drafty there, because by God, he lives close-ish. You know, I'm not going to say exactly where, but, you know. He's close enough to... God, I need to stop talking at that point in time. Anyway, he's, he'll... But yeah, so, you know, people like Drafty, you know. Hopefully the year I go will be the year, like, Burning Wing goes, because that would be cool.
Yeah.
To meet that no internet having piece of crap. Still love you, though, buddy.
I mean, it would be fun just to see all the people we've had on the show, too, you know?
Oh, for sure. Of course, you know, the, you know, quote-unquote famous people. Not that I mean that, you know, in a smart-ass way, but, you know, again, like Bert said, whenever we had him on, they're not actually celebrities, but in our community, they are.
Mm-hmm.
So we see them a little larger than, well, they actually are, essentially. But, I mean, good God, meeting people like birds. I mean, I might violate so many, like, personal space boundaries by hugging him, but I'm going to try and hug him. Like, I might get a kick to the balls, but I'm going to try it. It'll happen. And I wouldn't even blame him.
It'll be worth it.
It would. I wouldn't even blame him, because, you got a 6'1", like 200-pound guy coming to give you a big bear hug. Yeah, I'd probably kick him in the balls, too. I mean, come on. Oh, God. Why am I talking about kicking myself in the balls? See, that's probably me being drunk.
Kicking yourself in the balls. Like, I was sitting here like, Des, can you kick? I mean, I guess you could sack tap yourself.
I mean, technically,
the worst part about it was I sat there and I was like, I lifted my leg to see, like, could I heal myself? Like,
can you actually reach your own nutsack by kicking upwards?
For sure you can. For sure. If I could choke a monkey, you could kick yourself in the nuts.
So that's Destiny news. God, I was actually worried at one point, like, before we started this, the reason why I chugged, like, the first one so fast, I was worried I wouldn't be drunk enough to make this funny.
Wrong.
Yeah, joke's on me. Like, I probably could have left it all alone and been fine, but no, I just had to chug.
Hey, man, sometimes you gotta chug.
Sometimes you gotta. It definitely usually works in some kind of hilarity that you may or may not regret in the morning.
I'm gonna feel this. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. Chances are I'm gonna need to put a lot of water in the fridge tonight because I feel like I'm gonna have a huge craving in the morning. For no reason. So yeah, that's Destiny stuff.
Yeah, I got Pedialyte already ready for me. As soon as we get off the line, I'm just gonna start chugging Pedialyte.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's Destiny.
That is Destiny. Like I said, a lot of news. Some of it, like I said, left over from the fact that, we don't have Game Informer subscriptions. Big whoop. Want to fight about it? But anyway. Yeah, so that's Destiny stuff. I mean, the Destiny friends are probably going to get a little news light for the next, few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
At least until the Solstice of Heroes seasonal event comes out, the 31st. Then we'll have some things, some things to talk about, of course, because, new event that's going to be giving you like 400 light level armor. Power level armor. Whatever terminology you want to use. Because apparently even the devs can't even decide on what terminology to use. So I thought that was hilarious because they talk about like special primary and power, even though it's kinetic energy and heavy. It's like, so why? That's one thing that's always confusing. It's like, why are you using a different terminology when everyone's used to the D1 terminology, and you're still actually using the D1 terminology in development? Why the new terminology? It's one thing that always confuses me.
Yeah.
It's like, why not just use the D1 terminology of primary, special, power, heavy thing? It's a bad time in my head, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bad time. I mean, not actually a bad time. Trust me, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. But my thought process is a train wreck.
I'm feeling a little bit like I did heroin. Not like I've ever done heroin. You know what I mean? But
allegedly.
No, I've never done heroin. I'm afraid of needles. I've done coke once, though.
I've never tried coke.
Okay, here's what happened. It fried my tongue, Lady Alcohol. Secret times. I was at a party in California, and it was quite a large party. And I walked into a room, and there was a bunch of guys with cocaine on the table, and they had guns on the table. And I saw the gun, and I saw the cocaine, and they saw me see the guns and cocaine. So I did a line of coke.
Okay, why am I not surprised that that happened in California?
Because California is, listen, all right, sometimes California dreaming on on a lovely winter's day, okay?
Right? I mean, I understand it's just hilarious. Like, the least surprising thing about that story is, like, I was in California. It's like, yeah, that makes sense.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
Oh, guns and cocaine? Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
a lot of cocaine. And
no doubt.
And really big guns.
No doubt.
And me being the asshole I am, I saw it was like, that is not what you should have.
Oh, God.
Man,
But yeah, that's...
live a semi-charmed kind of life.
I know, right? So yeah, this, ladies and gentlemen, is the point in time where some of you may or may not wish to listen. Of course, I recommend listening to every bit of this. Why? Because we're freaking drunk.
I'm hammered. I'm ham-sitting okay?
It's like, I can't even... I've went through almost 2 mics harder at this point. Yeah, I've been nursing the second one.
Probably.
Because trust me, I may be drunk, but I still know nursing this second one is the smart thing to do. Again, I no longer have trouble breathing, so nobody has to worry. Because again, I've been nursing the second one, so I'm getting better. I'm still messed up.
I mix pre-workout and alcohol. All right?
You're screwed regardless.
Fucked.
You're screwed regardless until in the morning. Like, you're definitely going to have to sleep that crap off.
Oh, God. I might have to call my sister to get a goddamn IV. I got the Titan from I got the Todd McFarlane Titan.
Yeah, you got the Vault. Yeah. Hilarious thing. So I've recently been to Walmart. I saw the Vault of Glass Titan. It's like an idea popped in my head. It's like, if I had the money, I'd buy that and ship it to Buster. Because I know you'd love. I figured you'd love the Vault of Glass. And then you showed me that picture in Discord. And it's like, yeah, I knew it.
You know here's what happened. Fun fact: I was walking. We went to we went out for the birthday yesterday. I drank then too. Fun fact on that one. So 2 days drinking. Thank you, liver. And my girl was like, we got to get some stuff for the house. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, man. We could walk around Walmart at 2 a.m. and see what happens. And by the way, just to let you know, 2 a.m. is the perfect time to walk around Walmart. It's a great, let's be honest. And we're walking around, and she's like, hey, do you need Baja Blast? And I looked at her, and she says, of course you need Baja Blast. You always need Baja Blast. I said, you're damn right. And I'm walking, and that motherfucker was sitting on top of the Baja Blast. And I'm like, oh, hello there. And I just grabbed both of them, and I look at her, and she's like, it's your birthday. You can do whatever you want. I'm like, you remember you said that?
Yes.
You remember you said that. Don't write checks your ass can't cash, especially if the bank's not open. Ooh. Do I still have more of this? I do. Oh, it's at the bottom.
Oh!
No. All the ash juice just settled at the bottom.
The stuff at the bottom. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, God!
Oh. It's always a bad idea, man. The stuff at the bottom is always a bad idea.
Unless if it's a good idea.
I mean, yeah, it's probably, But anywho, shout out to the real MVP here. That is definitely our kidneys and liver. Yeah, we're definitely, like, my first pee after I wake up, I'm going to feel it for sure.
It's going to be,
like, oh,
it's going to be chocolate milk brown.
That's right.
It's going to be bad.
Oh, I'm going to figure out why I got into a fight with, like, Evander Holyfield, and he did nothing but punch my kidneys.
Piss blood tomorrow.
Oh, God. But anywho, yes, Vault of Glass Titan. Like, get that stuff. Why? Because it comes with Gallowhorn. And also Lola and Accorda figures. Like, they're freaking at Walmart. People buy them if you're Destiny freaks.
What shotgun is this?
That might be the Vault of Glass shotgun, actually. Because I know, Ikora, missed opportunity, she does not come with the Invective shotgun, but she does come with a Vanguard shotgun, so, like I said, it still kind of fits. But, missed opportunity in the fact that they didn't package Invective with it. Because Because, I mean, lore nerd here, Invective was hers, so, yeah. You could blame her for, like, camping out and waiting for ammo to regen. Grub.
Score camping.
My God. Anywho, new stuff coming to Paladins, which I'm actually legitimately surprised that we're getting a new champion this fast. Yeah, like, it seems like not that long ago we just got Furia, and now they're talking about Koga.
The Lost Hand? Is that his title?
Yes, the Lost Hand, because he was apparently has become a target to his brethren, which is
the Thousand Hands?
Yeah, the Thousand Hands, run by none other than Zen. Yes, and just like Zen, he pretty much fooled us all. He is not a melee guy. I mean, that's cool. That's fine. He uses SMGs. He dual wields those suckers, so, bonus points. Mm-hmm. He is a ninja. Because, like, one of his, like, talents or whatever mentions ninjutsu. So, cool.
Naruto. Ninjutsu.
Oh, yeah. His primary weapon is a pair of submachine guns that do damage every 0.06 seconds. Why not, right? But he's like... Koga is like a stance character. So he's a flank. Also, before I go any further, he's a flank. Just like Zen. He's 1900 health, so he's definitely like... I think 1900 is the lowest there is for champion health. Which I think even Sky has that low of health. So, like I said, that's like... I think that's the lowest health there is for champions. There might be like an 1850, but I don't have my spreadsheets in front of me. I'm lying because I always have my spreadsheets in front of me. But do I list health? Yes, I actually do list health. So let's sort that from Z to A. Oh, yeah, spoiler alert, I'm about in spreadsheet. Not a lot of you know that. Okay, Eevee has 1800 health. And the only other two people that have 1900 health is Maeve and Talus. Which makes sense because, Maeve is definitely the other ninja-esque character, basically. Because she throws, knives, kunai shuriken, whatever. Similar mechanics. And she double jumps. Which, for some reason in, like, hero shooters, that's a ninja trait. Even though Maeve is not a ninja. She's a cat. Or something like that. She's a furry. Deal with it. She's going to live her life as she wants. I don't know.
I don't think that... Point of order. I don't think that's right. I think she's really just half cat.
No, she's like a tigeron or whatever. She has cat eyes.
Yeah, she's like Richie.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Pretty much. I don't know if she can actually...
There you go, Gorilla Golf. There's your Bleach reference for this episode. God damn! My eyes just went fucking flare.
Also, speaking of which, we might be getting close to getting Gorilla Golf on Paladins.
Yes!
Come on, buddy. Join the dark side. Anywho, God, I'm sorry. I do not have a filter when I'm drunk, like, at all.
I was gonna say I'm playing with my nipples thinking about that.
The bad thing is, I don't doubt that, like, at all. Which means you guys listening, you shouldn't doubt that at all either, because trust me, I know this Buster. Y'all may not know this Buster so well. Also, shout out to Burning Wing for calling out a drunk raid when I posted a picture of 4 Mike's Harder Lemonade.
He was close.
He was close.
And I tried to give the hint of me when I posted the pre-workout, and then it was like, that's cheating.
Oh, I know that. You posted that, it's like, oh my god, not again.
Fuck it. If you're gonna dance with the devil, you might as well lead, and then you take it to the hotel room, and then you do some shit with it. Okay?
I mean, yeah, you at least give the devil a reach around, right?
Yes.
At least. I mean, come on. So Koga is ninja assassin dude. He uses akimbo submachine guns. Let me get the terminology right here. He has a movement ability called Shadow Step, which, it's like your Bleach. What was it called? Flash Step? Yeah, Flash Step. Sort of like that, but not as fast. Like, he becomes like untargetable and just like goes forward. Oh yeah, and in case I haven't mentioned this before, Koga does not have ability cooldowns.
He has a limited resource, yeah?
He has energy, which is a resource gauge. Shadow Step takes up 1 unit of energy. So he's a resource guy. So he's resource management. For your Overwatch players, the closest I can come up with is like Doomfist. Because Doomfist has super fast cooldowns. This is kind of similar in the fact that, he has a resource meter that, he has to build up certain bars of resource to be able to use these abilities. So yeah. Anyway, so he has this ability that dashes forward and you're not targetable, so it's a really good get-in tool. Then he has agility, which also consumes 1 unit of energy. And what agility is basically a self-buff that you move 50% faster for 4 seconds. Which is super amazing. 50% faster is super fast for paladins. Like, that's a huge speed buff.
That's dumb fast.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb fast for paladins. And then he has this other ability called Dragon Stance. What does he do? He goes all Ninja Weeaboo mode. He, grows Wolverine claws, and all of a sudden he can do, distance fire slashes instead of his normal attack. Which I haven't done damage calculations, so I don't know which one's better. Submachine guns or Hellkite claws, which is what they called, because that sounds actually pretty amazing.
He throws fire like Zin then, right?
Yeah, he does. Basically, he uses claws instead of a sword to throw these waves of fire at his enemies. Yeah. But his has, he doesn't have, the situational damage that Zen does. Because, Zen does these 2 light swings and then a heavy swing. Mm-hmm. His Hellkite claws do just straight 600 damage every, swing. Mm. But while he's in Dragon Stance, he is constantly consuming from his energy. So you get it for basically a limited time, for as long as you have energy, or, you just deactivate it. But,
so it's like Kubo mode.
Yeah. But while in Dragon Stance, his Shadow Step gets replaced with a move called Skewer. And what that does is you still get the dash forward, but it's a little faster, and you do damage to everything that you pass through. This is a ninja dash that you slash through your enemies with. It's your Weeaboo ninja dash while in Dragon Stance, and everything in front of you does 600 damage, and it consumes all of your energy that's left. So it's definitely that thing. It's okay, I need burst damage to take this guy out. Skewer. Done. All right, now I'm just using my SMGs again to, do things. His ultimate is Cyclone Strike, where you melt into the shadows, becoming untargetable and striking anyone within 25 feet of you for 1,500 damage per second over 2 seconds, and goes through shields.
Oh, so that's if it's 3-3 on a siege, and you gotta capture the point to win, and you have a super, and everybody's there, you can just ping pong around. It's right. The anime super, the badass swordsman super dash.
Yeah, sort of. Well, I mean, it's kind of like if you want to play Marvel vs. Capcom, it's kind of like Wolverine's Tornado Claw, essentially. Just a lot of damage. Mm-hmm. Here's the funny thing. Right now, there are 37 champions and paladins. Out of the 37 champions and paladins, there are 9 of them that can survive this ult at full health.
Terminus?
It starts with Barrick.
Yeah, okay.
Because Barrick at the low is the lowest that can survive this at 3,400 health. Yes, if he's in the middle of both seconds of this ult, he's hurting. You'll be able to tickle its balls and kill him.
Sneeze on
yeah.
him.
I mean, either way,
Yeah.
But yeah, Barrick, and then there's Terminus and Khan that have 4,000. Mm-hmm. Ruckus and Makoa have 4,500. Fernando has 4,600. Inara has 47. Ash has 49. Technically, Torvald can, even though his base health is 2,000. He does come with the stock. It depends on how much shield he has, because he does have like 3,300 worth of shield that he can have to help absorb that. But yeah, you can almost take down all of his shields with his ult. So yeah, there's only a handful of people. Okay, the only people that could survive this?
Frontliners.
Yeah, they're all frontline. Everyone I named was everyone in the frontline category. Mm-hmm. So if you're anything but a frontline, you're boned once he goes ult. I mean, that's it. You're just screwed. You're like, he ults, and you basically better be a flank that has a move kind of like Eevee that just gets you out of dodge, or else you're just ultimately screwed. Which makes sense, because even Terminus has that kind of ability. His self-res does like 4k damage if you're actually in the vicinity of the blast. So yeah, I mean, that means not even Barret can survive that at full health. But other than that, like I said, the people that can survive it don't change. But still,
they're gonna be hurting though.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be hurting. Like, he's right. Anyone that stands in this ability are gonna hurt. His talents are really cool. His default is Adrenaline Junkie. Dealing damage with your SMGs, restore energy. So basically, staying aggressive means you get more energy to do your abilities. So it's basically high burst DPS. Level 2, there's Blood Reaper, where Skewer deals up to 400 bonus damage based on the energy that it consumes. So it can do 1,000 damage if it's done at full health, full energy. Which, like I said, you might activate it and like trying to get that burst damage just to kill somebody. So, like I said, that can be situational but very helpful. And then here's the crazy one though: Master of Arms. Hits with your SMG cost no ammo. What? So if you're aimbot and you have perfect aim, you never have to reload. Legitimately, the better your aim, the less you have to reload with this talent. Huh. Which basically, even though his damage may not be uber great, which I can actually do this calculation real fast. Here it is. Because I figured out how to do these things. Like I said, relatively fast. Oh, wait, crap. Nope, I completely forget the calculation. So, I'll multiply this by, 100? Oh, crap. Hang on. I can do this drunk. I swear, without that much time. And then divide all that by 6. Say he does like, Mark of the Beast damage per second. 666. Which isn't great, but for his type as a flank is also super awful. I mean, he's just above Moji. So actually, that he is pretty much bottom of the barrel. But anywho, I'm drunk. I could have gotten the calculation wrong. But anywho, that was 10. So yeah, I did that. I might have did that. Anywho, but yeah, so he become like I said, if you're hitting something, it doesn't even have to be against a person. It could be an enemy shield, and your SMGs are taking no ammo. Jeez. So you become like I said, the tank burner / shield melter type guy. So
especially if you go into the shield breaking cards.
Oh, especially yeah. God. Like depending upon what hero you're going up against. Oh yeah. And then at level 12 there are the Dragon Fangs, where Hellkite Claws no longer consume energy, and instead consume 200 health per second. We're talking super high risk, super high reward.
Yeah.
Because Hellkite Claw, I mean, then, like I said, oh my god, you could do so much with that. Like, just because as soon as you transform, like, your energy never drains. So, oh my god. But, yeah. And of course, all of his stuff. Let's see, and what is this, 1.3? Yeah, this is 1.3. Koga's Revenge is what they're calling this patch. So there's probably going to be maybe an event. Probably not. Maybe, though. I don't know. But the Abyss is coming up in Team Deathmatch maps.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh, this is hilarious. Yeah, Abyss is our newest Team Deathmatch map. It is inspired by the Rise of Fury event. It contains many of the game mechanics introduced during the Abyssal Spire climb, including jump pads and power-ups.
Oh, God.
It's like, what are you doing? What is this, Smash Brothers all of a sudden? I thought I was playing Paladins. And for custom matches for Team Deathmatch mode, you can actually use the Throne app. So yeah, for all of you guys that do custom servers and Paladins, yes, they have that. We don't talk about them, but they have those.
Yeah, they have those.
Yes, they have those. And you can do like a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't know for sure because I really haven't played with that, but you know. Oh yeah, and they're actually re-separating the queues again. I really wish Hi-Rez would make up their minds about this. Because it used to be the fact that you can multi-queue into like, it's like, oh, you can search for a Siege game and what's it called? Not deathmatch mode. Yeah, an Onslaught game. And like their old game match that was using cards, whatever the crap that was. But anyway, that doesn't matter because they did away with that because then you could only go into certain, like, oh, Siege, you know, queue for Siege Casual or queue for Deathmatch or queue for Ranked. But they're actually re-separating the queues. So you go into the queue menu, and now you can select Siege, Deathmatch, and Onslaught individually again. So they're bringing that back. Who knows how long, because they might recompress it again and then re-separate it. That seems to be a thing going on. No judgments here, but it's happened before. It might happen again. Oh yeah, Battle Pass number 2. Once 1.3 goes live, Battle Pass number 2 is going live. Buster, you might want to be spending a little more time as Paladins for Battle Pass number 2.
I didn't see what happens. What happens?
Very Asian themed, I'm just saying.
Oh.
Yeah, very Asian themed. Oh, and the mount is the Crimson Serpent. Looks like a Chinese dragon. Or, you know, Japanese, you know, Asian dragon. Mm-hmm. You know, it's long. It's got like horns and stuff. So, you know, like, you know, Asian dragon. Or antlers. That's what I meant to say. Antlers, not horns.
You had me at hello, good sir.
I know, right? But yeah, so yeah, Battle Pass number 2 is more Asian themed. I mean, after all, the animated loading frame is called Shogunite. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's Asian themed. At level 20, you get the Akuma Makoa skin. Wait, let me tell you what, looks freaking amazing. Like, oh my god. And then there's the Dragon Collar Cassie skin. Huh. Which doesn't look super Asian, but does replace Ziggs with a dragon.
Oh, is there a picture of this somewhere that I can look up?
You know what? I wish I could link that in Skype easily, but I'm looking at this crap on my phone right now. But okay. If you quickly look up the 1.3 patch notes in Google, you can actually look at these pictures fairly easily. But like I said, I'm actually, you know what? Why am I being a douchebag? Just because I'm drunk doesn't mean I have to be a douchebag. This is great radio, guys. Promise, swear. 1.3 Paladins patch notes.
I think I got it.
You probably got it.
Got it. Koga's Revenge. Thank you.
There you go. But yeah. So yeah, just scroll on down. Like I said, the Cassie skin isn't super impressive, but I like the fact that it turns Ziggs into a dragon. And then there is the Shadow Lord Maldumba skin, which kind of looks like Dark Raiden from X, because why not? Mm-hmm. So some things are also changing in the Battle Pass is the fact that you're going to be able to gain experience a little faster, but as a turnaround to that, instead of stopping at level 50, it's stopping at level 5. So why have it gain experience faster if you increase the level cap? I personally don't get that, but you know, I mean, it's a business move. I understand. You know, you got to somehow get a way to get, you know, money out of people. I understand it. Like I said, I've come to this peace with Warframe. I don't agree with the high prices, but people pay it, so why not charge it? I'd probably do the same thing if I was in charge of a business. It's like, people are paying how much for this? No, keep charging. Like, give me that money, because you best believe I would get paid.
I'm looking at the mount. Shut the fuck! This mount is amazing.
It is amazing. Like, the mount is freaking amazing. Like, I really like this mount. Makes me glad I actually got the season pass, so I'm definitely getting this mount.
Okay, Ziggs is a little dragon.
Yeah, Ziggs is a cute little,
the Madamba, I can give or take between Madamba.
Yeah, I mean, it's not super, super impressive, but it's still pretty cool. If I can reach the level 75, that's a reward for level 75. I'll give it that. But I'm not going to super push for it. Like, that's for sure. I think they have a new... Kinessa has a clocking dance emote. I don't know what clocking is. I'm old. I might be out of it. Yeah. But, of course, there's, like, battle chests where you can get unlocks, like, emotes and crap for a specific type of, character. There will actually be offering multiple feudal chests throughout Battle Pass number 2, which is Kunoichi Sky, Oni Talus, Ronin Ash, Inferno Ash, Chrome Sky, all the Asian-looking things. So yeah, you'll apparently be getting a lot of, or at least a few, feudal chests to open. So that's super, super cool. Oh, animated MVP pose is Koga Strike pose. Of course, Koga gets the new, MVP pose. I mean, that makes sense. Zen gets a Sulk emote. That's going to be super funny, actually. Free unlocks. There's a bunch of free unlocks, like a diamond chest and a gold chest, and, all this. Unlock all 7 tiers to unlock the legendary title, The Ninja. I may not even unlock all 7 tiers, to be honest. I don't know who Faye Razzle is. I'm sorry. But apparently is the sexiest voice on Twitch and is now, or will be, a announcer pack in Paladins. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are, Faye Razzle. I might have to search you out and look at you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know who that is either, if that helps.
I know, right? But yeah, then there's going to be challenge tiers for the Battle Pass, because, line of, XP and crap like that. Rise of Fury will be ending in 1.3, so if you're playing, buy all the Rise of Fury crap, because it's about to be gone. And when I mean about to be gone, I mean the next week or two, it's going to be gone. But if you've been playing the event, like, super, super crazy, if you have 1,000 abyssal shards after you get all the items, or event store items, and you have, like, 1,000 abyssal shards, you will get a diamond chest, so... Yeah.
There's that.
Kind of makes me wish I played the event a little more often to get a free diamond chest. But I only played it like 4 or 5 times.
It was a jumping puzzle in Paladins. I wasn't a biggest fan.
Oh, it was super cool. It was just, it was super weird. So yeah, Deathmatch and Onslaught game modes are right into their own queues again. Yay. Another new login screen, new landing page scenery, new battle pass menu, blah, blah, blah. Paladins is getting a cosmetic wheel. Yes, that means you can use multiple sprays and emotes in-game. You can equip a total of 4 sprays and 4 emotes.
If you were so inclined to do so.
Yeah, so the cosmetic wheel will be accessed by selecting PC or the left D-pad on console, replacing Weapon Inspect. And players can still use their binds for sprays, which will play the last selected on the cosmetic wheel. Okay. So yeah. Oh yeah, and players can now mount their mount early inside their spawn room with the cosmetic wheel. So yeah, so there are going to be 4 emote slots and 4 spray slots. So they're following in Overwatch's footsteps with that. Mm-hmm. It's happening, I mean. Wait, do you have to unlock these spray and emote? Because they're listing a gold value for these slots, and I mean, I got plenty of gold to spare, but that kind of seems a little douchebag me. Yeah. But I mean, that and there's really nothing else to spend gold on. So, I mean, if you have the pass or the quote unquote game, like it's free, true, but grinding all that gold to get champions is a rough one. Yeah. Trust me, it's possible. It's just a little rough on the grind.
Like I said, though, like you said earlier, you should have got the Founders Pass when it was on sale.
Oh, yeah, it was on sale. Like, I tried to tell everybody, it's like super on sale, and should have got it, because holy balls. But yeah, so there's, like I said, there's nothing else to really spend gold on. Once you are at that position, it's like, oh, I have every champion unlocked. I think I still have over 1 million gold. I'm pretty sure I do. Like, I don't know exactly how much. I might be close to 2 million. I don't know, because I don't spend gold.
Why spend gold?
That's the only reason. The only thing I spent gold on recently are Khan and Furia. I leveled them up to level 12 so I can go ahead and have all their talents unlocked.
Yeah.
That's literally all I spend gold on right now.
See, Furia, I was lucky. I got her often.
Yeah. But that's the only thing I spend gold on. Is like, I'll go ahead and, like, when Koga comes out, I'm going to level him up automatically to level 12, so that way I have all of his talents unlocked. Mm-hmm. That's what I spend gold on. I may spend gold on, like, I did buy Khan's alternate color. And that's like 1,200, so it's like I kind of feel like Tony Stark when I play Paladins. I have so much gold. It's like, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. It's like.
But then once you get to the level where you can get like the obsidian and the cosmic, you're like, I could get these. Who cares?
So all those keeping count. That was number 3 that was just opened. Yeah, definitely not coming down anytime soon. Let me tell you what. Crystal changes, some are coming. Pass. Announcer packs. Oh.
That reminds me, I'm going to look up Faye Razzle and see if I can find his voice and see if I can agree or disagree.
I know, right? So yeah, Koga, it's getting an Exile skin for 60,000 gold, which gives him like an all-white attire and no face. So I'm definitely going to get that because why not? Again, Tony Stark up in Paladins, just throw gold around like it ain't nothing.
Apparently he's somewhat popular with Paladins.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it because, again, they gave him an announcer pack because, I mean.
I'm gonna hit button just to see what he sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, Hi-Rez is like,
This is an ad. Thanks, YouTube.
Brought to you.
Make sure to share, like, and subscribe if you like the video. Boy, for OB68, 2 winners! 2 winners!
Alright, cool. So he's just
I've got to say, yeah, he's
a script dude, is what he is.
I mean, he's definitely got like that. He doesn't have that, sexy, deep announcer voice I was expecting, but he does have that announcer voice. Mm-hmm. Like, he does have that projection. I'll give him props on that. It's like really hard to get that, Monday voice going on. I mean, but he has that voice, and that's super cool. Probably still not going to watch him. I'm sorry, Faye Razzle.
I'm not going to buy your announcer pack.
Yeah, probably.
I'm good with pretty hair.
I know, right? Which, I mean, if you don't watch Paladins like esports, like, pretty hair is freaking hilarious. Like, oh my god. Like, he's super professional with like his callouts and stuff, but he still has time to proverbially, because his hair is always down, but proverbially let his hair down and, like, shoot the stuff. Like, yeah. Or at least what I tried to do, because it was probably awful, because,
And he's a frontliner main, too, isn't he?
I don't know.
I think he is.
I've actually never seen him play. I only seen him announce, but I know he does play quite a bit.
Him and Rain Day.
Yeah. Because actually, the only bit I've seen him play was trying this. Oh god, I think it's the Ice Mines map.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was this professional strat about jumping on the these wooden planks that were sticking out of the side, and you could avoid this death pit by jumping on top of them. And he was trying to follow like that pro strat of jumping on them and getting like this super sneaky flank route.
Yeah.
Except he failed and fell to his death. But yeah, that's sadly the only gameplay I've ever seen of Pretty Hair.
Hey, Des, do you remember the time you, myself, and Zanny do a Paladins podcast, and then it didn't happen after like one episode, and then we realized we do that every week anyway at the end of RNG. Remember that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because that kind of fell to the wayside. Which, I mean, it wasn't like any kind of difference of opinion. Because I know Zanny, maybe not publicly, but still loves or likes Paladins. So it wasn't like a difference of opinion or anything. It was just his work schedule sucked at the time, and we totally understand it. But especially then, it's like we made one a little Paladin crazy because we're like, well, that's going nowhere, so let's just keep talking about Paladins on the podcast.
Yeah. And
we did, and we went a little super heavy on it, and people were like, please stop, and we're like, sorry, not gonna. We like this game. Yeah. But we'll try and limit it and give you warnings when you have to squip. Just when you have to squip.
Squib.
So, woo! Oh, God, let me tell you what. Words are hard. And then there's a lot of patch notes. I'm not going over patch notes. Not for Paladins, because we're talking like exact number changes on like cooldowns and possible damage and bullcrap that people do or don't agree with. Because trust me, Paladins' community definitely has those people that's like, oh my god, why aren't you doing this to this champion? This champion needs a buff. This champion needs to be nerfed this way because he's too powerful. This champion's been too weak for 4 patch cycles. What are you, high res? Like, they definitely got those guys. Definitely.
Yeah, Destiny has them. Paladins has it. I mean,
everybody has.
Every game has it, really.
Like, for sure. Every game has them. But that is Koga. That is Ninja Boy / Wolverine wannabe coming out.
That is me getting the season pass and playing a lot more Paladins next season.
Which actually, yeah, if you get a season pass now, you actually get more crystals. Because the first battle pass, if you buy the season pass after 1.3, you get a little more crystals because you missed out on Battle Pass 1. Oh. So yeah, that's actually a cool thing that they made mention of, because if you actually wait until Battle Pass 3 to get the season pass, you get even more crystals. So even though it's like, no dummy, you should buy the season pass as soon as possible, it's like they're actually giving you more crystals for buying the season pass later.
Yeah. Which
is because season pass as is comes with a crap ton of crystals. But they are, like I said, they do have that set in. It's like, oh, you want to buy the season pass even though you missed a battle pass? It's like, most games would probably be like, well, too bad, you're still paying full price. Mm-hmm. Bounds is like, no, we're actually going to increase the amount of crystals you get. So that's actually really, really cool. So yeah, that's, like I said, that's super cool.
And they're doing really, like, I mean, everybody's like, God damn it, Buster, stop being such a Paladins mark. And I'm like, whatever. You can't, you can't tell me what to do. Fuck you.
You can't tell me what to do? Catch me outside. How about that?
I'm about to say it's like the old DX theme. I think that if we weren't going to get sued by WWE, I would have that as our theme song this episode.
I know, right? But I think it's WWE. And,
they'll sue you for everything.
Probably.
But Des, I forgot to ask you, buddy. I happen to be sitting upon a very cool logo that you have seen, and we mentioned dropping a T-shirt. For the second year anniversary.
Yes,
and we totally forgot about that.
Totally didn't happen.
We totally RNG'd the shit out of that one, and we were like, "Oh, look, a bird." That's pretty much what happened.
Squirrel.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna have to hit the design again, and of course keep you in the loop and send you pictures. But let's just put it this way, guys: this logo, this T-shirt that's going to be coming out, one would say, too sweet.
Yeah.
Would you say that, Des?
I would completely agree with this assessment.
No.
But yeah, totally agree.
Maybe if I could give one more wrestling analogy, if you're down with if you're RNG, you're RNG
for life.
Also, I'm definitely gonna need to drink that Pedialyte.
No, right?
Definitely.
Holy crap!
I'm 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot in the banana peel right now, folks. It is heavy. Like, have you ever sweat and not sweat the same?
I know, right?
Like, I'm sweating and not sweating at the same exact time, and I don't know how I feel about life right now. I'm definitely like, man, I'm...
Yeah, this is the part of the drunk where you basically become a philosopher.
Yeah.
Oh, because I do wonder how, like, Plato, if like Plato has felt like similar to this, is like, oh my god. Anyhow,
I saw Jurassic World last night.
I still have not seen that. I have catched up on some older movies, though. Like Thor Ragnarok. Finally saw that because it only popped up on Netflix. Because I completely forgot about it. Super good movie though.
Yeah. Thor Ragnarok is good. Yeah.
I mean, I have my issues with it. Because I am a comic book fan, and it felt too much like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie to me. Because Thor had too many one-liners, in my opinion. Because Thor comic books is very kind of Superman-y. He's very like uptight. He's always like, this like noble like person always. So he doesn't like quite give these kind of like, I mean, Chris Hemsworth does an amazing job as Thor and he pulls it off super good. It's not the comic book Thor. I mean, it works for the MCU and it's great, but yeah, Thor Ragnarok just was a little less Thor and more kind of Guardians of the Galaxy. But it still wasn't a bad movie. It was good. I still give it a thumbs up because the parts of it were funny. It was definitely hilarious in many, many parts. They did a good job. It was actually very comic book accurate, other than the characterizations. Which, of course, like I said, they've been, because Guardians of the Galaxy was so super successful, they've been injecting a little more. They've been letting, like, actors, like, kind of take over the characters to a degree. Because, I mean, it's worked. I mean, like I said, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. for Tony Stark basically played Robert Downey Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tony Stark was a rich man late in life that's been through drug and alcohol addiction. Who's Robert Downey Jr.? A rich man in his late life that went through drug and alcohol addiction. I mean, he can relate. So he just kind of played him in the role of a superhero, and it worked super good. It's like the best Captain America movie of 3. Why is one a little weaker? Because it's the comic book Cap. He's like super uptight. He's like, he is the Captain America. And 3, in my opinion, for Cap is a little better because you get those Chris Evans moments, Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the only thing off-putting about me is the fact that it's, the actor taking over and giving like these one-liners and weird jokes and stuff. But Thor Ragnarok is a good movie.
Yeah, it is good.
It is good.
What else did I see? That was, I went yesterday and I saw Jurassic World. Jurassic World was really funny. I mean, there was a sad part. My girlfriend cried in the theaters.
Of course. Now, here's my question. Here's my only question, though, and I'm going to leave it fairly big. Did the sad part involve people or dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs.
Oh, see, that's going to get me then. Because the sad parts that involve dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are the sad parts that get me.
Yeah. I mean, it's... there was some dope, like, if you go expecting a movie that you go, you know what, that was scientifically accurate. Like, I agree. I believe 100% of everything I've seen.
I've actually seen this review of the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom that said the entire movie pretty much hinges on the fact is if you crap about the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And here I'm thinking in the back of my head, it's like, it's Jurassic Park. Since when don't you give a crap about the dinosaurs?
Something happened, and I went loud in the theater. Also, can I ask a question that I don't understand? I might drop the baking. I don't know. Maybe I might do it. Why the fuck do people take their shoes off in the theater?
People leave your shoes on in theaters. Legitimately. It's like when you're in a public setting, the only time, there are like 2 occasions that popped in my drunk mind right now that is okay for you to take your shoes off. Number 1, your own home. Why? Because imagine what you step in all day.
Yeah.
You don't want your family exposed to that kind of crap in your carpet. So take your freaking shoes off, people. Don't wear your shoes inside your own home. Because if you step in dog crap, guess what? You're tracking dog crap in your carpet. Just a warning there. I'm not a huge, germ freak, but I take that one to heart. And then 2, it's like a dojo or Asian setting where you're supposed to take your shoes off, which primarily is in your freaking home. But also dojos and schools. Mm-hmm. So I don't think restaurants require that. Of course, you've been to Japan, so you can probably answer that one a little better.
I think it's like cleanliness.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, I mean, for sure. But like I said, like restaurants, I don't think have that requirement. But it's like, schools, like I said, dojos, of course. Yeah. But yeah, but like 90% of places don't require that. But yeah, so don't. Like, come on. I understand you want to be comfortable for watching a movie, but respect other people's space. Like, I feel like that's a huge problem with a lot of people nowadays. They just don't want to respect other people's space. Like, people, they start talking on their cell phone, and then they're talking, like, super loud, and it's like, dude, that's a private conversation. Why are you making it public? You know what I mean? But I'm going way off topic here, so continue, Buster. I apologize.
Oh, it's fine, buddy. I mean, everybody knows, my thing. I don't like having people on me. We got we had a theater. It's a Cinemark. I don't know if you've been to a Cinemark recently. They've ripped all their seats out and put like 4 rows of seats in, and it's a lot of room. And we're sitting in the very top, in the middle, where we go. And then this lady comes up with her husband, which is fine. It's whatever. I had my Auntie Anne's pretzel. It was good. She sat down and just took her fucking boots off, and I'm just sitting here looking like, hey, what if something bad happens?
Exactly. Because it's an establishment. There's like, the projector equipment gets hot, popcorn, that crap can malfunction, start a fire or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're trying to run out the theater, and barefoot. You're probably leaving your shoes because you a dummy and taking your shoes off in the movie theater. Like, come on.
I understand you want to be comfortable. Yeah,
come
fine.
On.
But come on. Also, bravo movie theaters for giving us those comfortable ass seats. Those seats are fucking comfy.
I know, like newer, because we have a theater that was literally built like 2-3 years ago. Mm-hmm. I forget exactly how long ago it was built, but oh my god, the seats and like just a general atmosphere of that new theater is like, oh my god, it's like heads and shoulders above. Like, oh my god, it's so comfortable, it's so great. That and the fact that they had one of those drink machines. Where you can
mix them yourself?
Exactly, like you can literally add shots of like cherry or vanilla to anything. Oh, you want a cherry Coke? Just press Coke, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, do you want to add a shot of cherry or vanilla or both? It's like, both? It's like, come on.
Oh, you want an orange cream soda? Yeah, because that's something I had the other day, and yeah, it was fucking delicious.
Yeah, I'm like, I freaking love that drink machine, those types of drink machines, man. So, oh, you want this drink? Fine. Oh, hey, you can add flavors to that. It's like, oh my god. And also, this theater is amazing because it was basically like, so I didn't think this would be like such a streamlined process, but it's like, you like if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I went, but if I'm not mistaken, it's like you go inside and you go to the cashier to get your tickets and your snacks.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen
You
them.
get your tickets, you get your cups, and then you get a popcorn ticket if you want popcorn. They have an entirely separate counter that does nothing but get you your popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
After you get there, they pop the popcorn. You hand them your ticket. They grab you the bag. They shovel it into the bag. They hand it to you. Then you go to the drink station, which is amazing. It was so freaking streamlined and awesome. It was like, oh my god.
My favorite thing is they have like a Cheetos mix-in type of option for the popcorn, where they take your popcorn and they put butter on it, which every butter, and then you take then they put it in like another tumbler and put like Cheetos cheese dust on it.
Yeah.
And they throw crispy Cheetos on top of it to mix in with it. And I'm like, hey man, this might be the greatest thing ever.
I know, right? Like, oh my god. It's like I said, modern movie theaters are amazing right now. Like, I definitely do not paying like a fairly exuberant amount to take my wife out and watch a movie. Like, at that specific movie theater. Because it's like, oh, that one's so amazing. Yeah, what else? I've watched something else, right? I watched the new season of Luke Cage.
Okay.
That was actually pretty cool. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Oh, dude, you definitely gotta watch it. It's definitely better in season 1. And the ending is like kind of like, oh my god, he did what type deal?
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of got like that kind of surprise ending that leaves you. It's also like a cliffhanger ending because it's like, oh my god, what's he gonna do in season 3? Because it's like, oh. But I've done this thing also. If you haven't watched The Defenders, you need to watch that before you watch Luke Cage season 2, or else you're going to be lost.
Okay, so it's a continuation.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a super hard continuation because no spoilers, but something happens to a Luke Cage character that's pretty major during The Defenders. So if you don't watch The Defenders, you're going to be confused on why this thing happened to this character.
Okay.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's not super confusing, but at the same time, you could be left wondering, like, what? Like, this person was okay the last I left, and now they're obviously different. But, so there's that warning. But definitely be familiar with what happens to the Defenders before you watch season 2 of Luke Cage. Which I still the fact of how well they mix and intermingle characters in the what I kind of call the Netflix cinematic universe. Mm-hmm. Because it functions just like the Marvel cinematic universe. Because you got characters like they're not afraid to reference what happens in the other season or the other series. They're not afraid to reference the other characters. And yeah, that's just super cool. And then all of a sudden it's like another character like shows up. That definitely happens in Luke Cage. Like somebody shows up and is fairly interconnected in the Luke Cage comic book history, which is pretty amazing. I think the next thing coming out is Iron Fist season 2.
Okay. I mean, hopefully he uses the Iron Fist more.
That was definitely a disappointment for me, is the fact that he can only use it like once a day. And it's like, no, that's not Iron Fist.
That's not what you do, Danny Rand.
Iron Fist like always glows and just punches the crap out of everything like Bruce Lee. Like, why is he only using it once a day? But I guess it's kind of like a growing moment for him or whatever.
Yeah.
Where, slowly start using it more. Which, so, hopefully in season 2 he could definitely like at least use it a few more times before he has to recharge his chi, which is weird, but whatever. But yeah, so what's that? It's like I'm also caught up on Voltron, which, oh my god, Voltron, the Netflix Voltron is still going. Like, holy crap, I'm actually surprised by that.
Yeah, it's really popular.
And it's still pretty good. Like, I find myself really liking the fact of that they're kind of changing characters around just enough, just like where you think you know how it's going to go, but that's not quite how it's going. Mm-hmm. So I really like that. But at the same time, staying interesting and such. So it's pretty good for Voltron. I still can't say it's like, with nostalgia glasses, if I like it any better than the original series, but it's still pretty good. Pretty good.
I started watching Marco on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
I also cut the cable, the TV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I cut that. It felt really good.
It does.
To cut that, because then we were talking about doing it because the bill was a little excessive. Let's just be real here. It was a little banana sandwiches, right? And,
for sure.
I was talking to the missus, and we were she was like, okay, let's just go through the streaming services we have. And I'm like, okay, cool. And she's like, I have Amazon Instant Video because I'm Prime. I said, cool. I have everything else.
Yeah.
And she goes, what do you mean you have everything else? I said, name one. And she's like, cool. You have Netflix? Yeah. I have WWE Network. I have fucking UFC Fight Pass. I have, Crackle. I have Crunchyroll. And she was
legit. Yeah, legitimately, service announcement. If you have Netflix and Hulu, you really don't need cable anymore.
If you have Amazon Prime and you have Amazon Instant Video, you don't need anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like
we looked through it. We were paying for channels twice over, basically.
Exactly. I mean, if you're like internet streaming, basically, if you have just Netflix, you can get away with cutting cable.
Yeah.
It's like, you might be missing a couple of things, but you can get away with it. Hey, if you have Netflix and Hulu, you should definitely cut cable. And if you have Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon, why do you have cable at that point in time? I mean, that service announcement is like,
Yeah, when the best part is when I called, they were like, well, I mean, basically you'll be paying what you pay now anyway, and I'm like, how's that make sense? I'm like, explain to me how I have how I'm cutting a complete service, and then the guy was like, well, because instead of you jump a bundle, and I'm like, hey, listen to me.
Yeah, because you're missing out on this package deal, which we have this discount on. I was like, then why do you give this discount? I was like, what the crap?
Yeah, and I was like, listen to me, real quick. And he was like, okay, and I was like, I don't watch enough TV to warrant paying for it, and neither does my girlfriend. We watch maybe 4 shows, and most of them are on Netflix. And then dude got for real serious. He was like, well, then, I would definitely cut cable anyway. And I'm like, thank you. And then he was like, I just want to let you know, though, we have a tier higher for internet. And I'm like, what do you mean we have a tier higher for internet?
Ooh.
And he's like, yeah, because I have 250 up and down.
It's amazing compared to what we can get down here. Yeah. Like, basic. At basic levels.
You want to know what the next step up is?
What?
A gig up, down.
Oh! You lucky piece of crap.
I was like, what do I need a gig? What do I need a gig for? And he was like,
you need a gig for everything.
He was like, anything and everything? And I'm like, yeah.
You wanna play Destiny and watch Netflix with absolutely no chance of latency? Well, I'm sorry, not latency, but drop frames? Then you need a gig. Latency can still affect you because what we commonly know as latency is a completely different thing, and that's known as packet loss, which might be because you have a crappy ISP, which, let's face it, 90% of ISPs out there, I'm sorry, but you're crappy. And you get packet loss, and you have lost information, and that usually creates your quote-unquote red bars and game-changing setters, but I digress because I'm drunk, and Anyway.
I feel less like I did heroin, thankfully.
That's true. I'm still as drunk as I was like an hour ago. Oof. But I'm stabilized now.
The cold sweats are gone. That's what I was worried about. Because I started sweat. It was like I'm cold and I'm sweating. I was like, oh, I'm going to die. It's not good.
Exactly. Basically, the rough part is over. Now I'm just drunk.
Yeah. Now I'm having a great time.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's like this. Anyway, I know, right? But yeah, this is drunk. Like earlier was, oh my god, am I possibly having a heart attack drunk?
Yeah.
But no, it was just fact. Again, I chugged an entire Mike's Hard and like I said, chug is I definitely didn't chug, but I was taking deep swigs whenever I did drink.
You were gulping.
Yeah, exactly. So that was 23.5 fluid ounces, and I was taking these huge gulps and done with it in like 10 minutes before recording. Don't do that. Especially with something over like, 3 to 5% alcohol per volume, because trust me, those extra couple percentage numbers, you feel them.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But also on a side note, I love Mike's Harder. Like, oh my God, this stuff is amazing. I really like
you
this.
had me at strawberry pineapple?
Yeah, strawberry pineapple. This is the Deadpool can, and it is... I love the saying on it, too, because it says it's just like strawberry, only with pineapple. Because it's like... Duh. Don't give me that look. I will drag you on this podcast.
Okay.
That's a lie.
That's
care.
A lie. That's a lie. You care. You care. You
Even
won't do
Buster
it.
saying you care.
You won't do it. You won't do it. You won't do it and have an argument about mac and cheese and ketchup.
She said she's hurt, but we all know my wife will not join this podcast. Exactly. She's shaking her head. She agrees after all. But yeah, she gave me this weird look issue because it's not often I drink. Like, it's definitely not often I drink. But so she gives me this look whenever she hears drunk me. Because trust me, if there's anyone else that knows drunk me, it's that woman. Yeah, she definitely knows. Oh God, let's drop something.
When I mentioned it to the missus when I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna drink a little bit before work," and she was like, "Yeah, it's your birthday. I figured you were." And I was like, "I bet yesterday too." And she's like, "Yeah, well, I mean, it's your birthday. I figured you were gonna drink a little bit today too." And
yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, yeah, well, I mean, you got the point." He's like, "Plus, you didn't wake up for RNG this morning, so I figured some types of shenanigans was up." And I'm like, yeah, you see. What happened was, and she's like, "Listen, I mean, I'm gonna be at work. So you do," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'm just letting you know. I'm gonna get fucking. I'm probably gonna be a little bit hurt, Locker." And she's like, "Listen, as long as you're sober by the time you pick me, I know what you do."
Which is why we didn't record later.
And I was like, sober, like not feeling it, or sober as in like if I drive and get pulled over, a cop's not going to go, "Hey, do me a favor, have you been drinking?" And she was like, "That one," and I'm like,
exactly,
because I'm gonna be feeling this for a couple hours. And she's like,
which exactly the thought, because again, behind the scenes, Buster gave me a time for today, and was 6 o'clock his time, which is 5 o'clock my like. You know what? I don't think I feel incredibly comfortable being drunk-ish around 5 o'clock my time.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
But that's true. I mean, that is the limit. But it's like, I'd prefer to wait a little later. So Buster's like, well, how about 8 o'clock my time? But then he's like, but I have to go pick up my girl at this time. It's like, no. 5 o'clock is fine. Like, 5 o'clock my time is fine. You need the possibility of sobering up. Because if we had started at 8 o'clock your time,
I'd have been fucking hurt.
Oh, you would have been screwed.
I'd have been like, "Call an Uber, I'll pay for it."
Exactly. So I gave that. It's like, yeah, you need at least an hour to sober up.
Yeah, that's what I have ready for me. You can tell me this isn't the most old man thing of how the old school way of getting a little bit more sober. I don't know if this works or not, but I got a fucking Keurig ready to go, preloaded in. All I gotta do is push that bitch down and press start brewing, and then I'm gonna run the bath super hot and pour Epsom salt. That green, remember that green shit you put in your bath when you want to sweat, when you want to cut weight for wrestling, and then I'm gonna sit in that for a couple minutes. By a couple minutes, as soon as we wrap, I'm going to sit in that bitch until like 10 o'clock, 10:30. So I'm going to sweat my balls off. And then I got 2 things of Pedialyte in the fridge, because I'm going to let you know something. When I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to get some Pedialyte," my girl was like, "What flavor?" I said, "Doesn't matter. It tastes like ass." No Pedialyte tastes good. Okay? No.
It's not bad. It's not awful.
Bad.
It is definitely not preferred, but, not bad. Oh, my God. Yeah, we were right. This thing was fast.
Oh my God. It's RNGCast.
For sure.
Everybody knows what they're listening to.
This is only a half step down from our normal podcast, so.
It's what you listen to.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, production value, you go somewhere else. If you would have had a good time and think you're listening to 2 buddies talk about shit, you're listening to 2 buddies talking. We're so close. We almost had the same fucking birthday.
Almost, what,
16
16 minutes?
Unless
16
unless you count
freaking
midnight
minutes.
as the day before. Which,
Exactly.
You could.
I mean, whatever. But yeah, 16 minutes of separation, so we could have had the exact same day birthday, which is ridiculous. Which I think the most hilarious part of that is the fact that it took us like a year and a half of podcasting to realize that.
None of us ever mentioned. I think we all knew each other's birthday, but it's on my head like,
exactly.
Hey, if it was 2 days later, if it was 16 minutes later, you'd have the same birthday, you dickhead. I'm like,
because I was thinking it was like no earlier than like 6 months ago. We were both like, wait. It's like, but wait a minute. If one of us was born early/late, we could have had the exact same birthday. Because one of those things, because Buster has this joke about, it's like, oh, hi, I'm Buster Knuckle. I'm a Cancer. It's like, always in the back of my hand, it's like, me too.
Cancer.
Me too.
I hate the beach.
Totally.
That's the joke. I hate the beach. I do.
But, oh my God. So, yeah, we have revolutionary ideas. We have questions from our listeners. Which I say listeners, but, Gorilla Golf coming through, like, DM'd me a happy birthday. And it's like, do y'all need questions? I'm like, we always need questions, bruh. So he came through with, oh my God, a holy crap ton of questions.
Also, I'm not mad, Gorilla, that you forgot my birthday was the next. That's fine.
I mean, it's cool. Now you know.
Now you know.
So next year's going to be a different story if you forget, man. We might have to jump you in or something. Which, maybe, ideally next year we'll be celebrating at Guardian Con because... Oh my God! Could you imagine being around these people like
no
in flesh at the first time, and it's like we're drunk because Lord knows I'm going to be drinking at least a few beers with Buster. Probably. For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna happen. I might carry down a couple mics harder just to ensure I'm feeling really good the first time I meet Buster. Because oh my God, these things are amazing. This might be my new drink. I'm just saying, this might be my new drink. Because it tastes better than any normal beer, and it's 8% alcohol per volume. That's a win-win situation in my book.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, for real. Oh, Jesus. Except burps. Oh, what's happening right now? Anyhow, Gorilla Golf says, with the recent news that the Dragon Ball movie is going to feature Broly as the main topic/villain. Oh, God. What are your thoughts on this decision? Mine typing this. You know what? Wait, did I call? Oh, no. That was last time. Yes, this is first question this time around. But, my basic thoughts, like, reading, because Burning had some, Akira Toriyama quotes here and there. Which one thing to understand about Akira Toriyama-san, or Mangaka Sensei, or whatever they use in Japan.
Sama.
Sama. There we go. Thank you, Jesus. Why could I not think of Sama?
That hurt me. I was like, Jesus Christ, Dad.
I know, right? I was trying. My brain.
You were trying real hard. And I was like,
I was reaching, but yeah, everyone that knows about Akira Toriyama is the fact that the reason why there are so many plot holes and like why does this character not use this in this situation type scenarios in Dragon Ball is because Akira Toriyama is extraordinarily forgetful. Mm-hmm. He'll do a thing and then he'll not remember he did a thing. So I mean, I'm forgetful. I'll probably, if I ever start seriously writing, I'll probably be the exact same way. So I can understand that. But yeah, so Akira Toriyama did not have a lot, quote unquote, of input when it came to Broly. Yes, he helped with design because, trust me, any character that's ever been in Dragon Ball, you're pretty much probably 80% chance assured that Akira Toriyama at least a thumbs up of that design. Mm-hmm. And why is that? Because he made Bird Studios to where he owns all of his characters. And yes, there are some characters that are like movie or anime only, but again, 80% chance he at least thumbs up those designs. It's like Super Saiyan 4. He was not involved with the actual design process of Super Saiyan 4, but he did give a thumbs up on it and did down the line draw it himself. So, I mean, like I said, these are just things to keep in mind. So, Akira Toriyama did not remember the story of Broly. He did remember that, I helped design him, of course, but he didn't remember the story of Broly. He went back, he actually watched the movies. So it sounds like what he's doing with this Dragon Ball Super movie, it sounds like he's trying to bring Broly in the possibility of actually existing in the mainstream continuity. Which I say that rather than canon and non-canon, because you listen to all these people, they never use those terms, like canon and non-canon. They never use them. It's like mainstream or it's like side story, because that's how Japan works. It's either a mainstream story, main storyline, or it's a gaiden, a side story. And like I said, that's usually how I've noticed a lot of like anime and stuff. That's how they function. But yeah, so it sounds like he's trying to bring into a mainstream continuity. And hilariously, he said he's trying to make him interesting, which, again, Dragon Ball Bridge pegged it perfectly when they actually parodied the Broly movie. It's like, oh my god, he's so cool, but he's so dumb. Which is legit. If you watch a Broly movie, Broly is dumb as a box of nails. Yeah. But he has some of the most amazing and cool moments in Dragon Ball history. He is
bucket of rocks.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, he's cool, he's amazing, but his entire origin story is the fact that, Goku cried when they were both babies and made Broly mad. It's legitimately why he's the legendary Super Saiyan. Legitimately, for his movie. That is dumb. That is dumb as crap. But again, it makes him go green and become super buff and take a Kamehameha to the face and go, what's that? Some of the most iconic moments in Dragon Ball movie history was from the first Broly movie. But again, he's dumb. It's like his origin is dumb. Characterization after he transforms is dumb. But he's also cool.
Yeah.
So I actually can't wait to see, like, if they can make Broly something a little deeper and a little more meaningful, like, at least backstory-wise. Because that will make Broly a proper villain and a proper character, in my eyes. With all the amazing fight scenes. Because, Broly's going to be stupid powerful. Like, oh my god, he better be. That's my thoughts.
I mean, I can't really speak. I'm not really the biggest. I mean, yeah, I like Dragon Ball and all, but, I mean, I've been watching a lot of Overlord.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't watched Overlord, it's like, hey, what would happen if you had the most OP person be the main character of a story, and then it's just them beating the shit out of everyone trying to fight them? And you would think the first time you watch it, you're like, this really doesn't would last long. And then you start watching, you're like, Jesus Christ, what's he gonna do next? And then it's
so they found that magic mixture of basically it's like Superman, but with interest. Basically. Because, I mean, Superman isn't always interesting. I'm sorry.
No.
I mean, he's OP, he's super cool, but there usually has to be something that makes Superman interesting. But I digress on that because that's a whole can of worms. Like, oh my god, like the internet is crazy about Superman. It's like half the internet has a hard-on for Superman and half the internet has a hard-on for Goku. And dear God, literally, I rewatched Superman vs. Goku. I probably mentioned this on cast before, but I rewatched Superman vs. Goku on Death Battle. And it was like a 4-year-old video that had fresh comments from 2 weeks before I viewed it. And it's like, are you kidding me? This topic is so hot across the internet that 4 years later, it's still getting fresh on why Superman or Goku would win. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like, people let it go because, I'm sorry. Again, I'm a Goku fan, but Superman is too OP.
Yeah. And then, hey, Gorilla Golf, don't start that with All Might. don't start that. That's just...
I know, right? Goku's All Might.
I was like, Jesus Christ. Do we have any more revolutionary ideas before I go and force myself to throw up?
We have plenty.
God damn it.
We have plenty, trust me. Do you guys see that because of poor box office showing of Solo, that all smaller movies, Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, have been put on hiatus? Thoughts? Personally, didn't mind Solo. Disclaimer, I don't watch the side stories before Netflix. Because I'm not super interested in the side stories for Star Wars. Because subjects like, Rogue One, which is the story of, the Death Star getting into Rebel hands, essentially. And then Solo, I was raised and I was a Star Wars nerd during the time of the extended universe. Those stories are a million times more interesting than the movies. And I haven't even watched Solo yet. Like, I could be proven wrong with Solo, but just basically my prejudice, I guess, is just the fact that the extended universe is more interesting. So whenever Solo pops up on Netflix, I'll be able to come back and answer that a little better on if I enjoy the fact of, these side stories like being put on hiatus. But right now, I'm okay with it because, again, the extended universe has usually been more interesting. But that's me. And apparently I'm crazy for not liking Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups.
I liked Solo. I like heist and Solo was a heist flick in its bare bones, like deep down inside.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and it was good, and I'm kind of mad, but I'm trying to figure out how to. Right now, I'm trying to figure out how to sober up. 'Cause I'm looking at the time, going, "God damn it!"
Yeah, you'll be able to. You'll be fine. Yeah. Trust me. Let's see. What one game boss, final stage or level has given you the biggest challenge? His Gorilla Golf's was Pokemon Red at the age of 10. Fighting Gary with level 75 Venusaur and level 40 crap Pokemon. He did not understand the balancing and leveling and such. Which I can see that struggle. I sadly did not play Pokemon until I was like a teenager. I was like a junior in high school when I first played Pokemon Red. So I had a better grasp of like the RPG system that I had. I'll actually have to say, like, it's definitely long listeners of the show will be able to see this coming a mile away. Final Fantasy VI. With the final boss, no spoilers, of course, but because I believe Final Fantasy VI was the first time where you actually, because I don't remember Final Fantasy V happening, but the final boss was a multi-tiered boss fight. So you actually had to pick. There were 15 selectable characters, and you essentially had to pick 3 groups of 4 out of all of your selectable characters to take into this final boss fight. I usually ran with my group of 4. So for the final boss fight, the first time I played through, I was boned. Because after my big powerful ones finally got knocked out one by one, I was left with crap for the rest of the boss fight. So it took me a little while to beat the final boss of Final Fantasy VI. Which taught me a lesson about experience between all of your selectable characters.
Des, this is really weird, but I was going to say the final boss in Rogue Galaxy.
I mean, that's fair.
For the exact same reason. It's all one-on-one fights, and if you had if you didn't pay any attention to a specific character and they got beat, guess where you started? The beginning.
Yep. Yep.
And then you got stuck in that loop until you were like, you know what? I have a save from a little bit back. I'm just going to go grind and level up.
So yeah, totally. Understand, because like I said, that was me in Final Fantasy VI. Okay. Do you guys think they're changing quite a bit for Forsaken, like borderline too much? I feel like we're truly going to be playing a new game. Yes and no. Because yes, I do kind of borderline feel like they're changing too much, but at the same time, I was kind of expecting this because of the Taken King.
I'll say they did it for Taken King.
Exactly. History is repeating. They changed a crap ton for the Taken King. So I kind of expected them for the, as we now know as Forsaken release, to change a crap ton. So I was kind of expecting it, but I'm still getting that feeling. It's like, oh my God, they're changing a lot. So yes, line feelings of being overwhelmed at everything that they're changing. But yeah, at the same time, yeah, I was kind of expecting it. So yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, because there's a crap ton change. Like, oh my God. Like all of a sudden they're bringing back random, like, oh my God. Like weapon slot changes. Like, oh my God. But this is the Taken King of D2 because we're getting things we didn't expect. Because Taken King is like, oh, quest system. Quests? Like legit? And then all of a sudden, it's like the story made more sense because it was part of a quest chain, and you can see all these like flavor dialogues between missions. You all of a sudden find out Eris Morn didn't like the speaker. You didn't find that out in the Dark Below. You found Taken King when Eris Morn was straight up saying, "It's like I don't like the speaker." Paraphrase. But yeah.
There was no air quotes on that one.
I know, right? Yeah, it feels like it's going to be playing it again. I definitely feel that too. It's going to be like, it's going to be a whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
Oh God, I don't know what I love more: the fact that I came up with that, or the fact that you so seamlessly had the exact same idea. My God. Let's see. Last but not least, liar. Since it was our boy Des and Buster birthday,
Woo!
Yeah, thank you. What is your favorite birthday memory from childhood? I don't know about my favorite, but my most ironic one was the fact that back in one of our old houses down in Selma, Alabama, my mother, we had this like, everyone had like a bedroom, of course, but like we had like this shop area on the outside because like we had the bedrooms in the house and there was like this patio area. There was this kind of storage area, I guess it would be called. It was just basically a spare room that was kind of connected to the house, but the only way to access it was from, like I said, the patio. So I don't know what you call that, but we had one of those, and my mom used it as a wood cutting like area because she was big in like wood or woodwork stuff. But she told me, I can't remember how old I was, but at one point in time she told me it's like I couldn't go out there because there was a giant mousetrap in there. So I would be like, I never went into the shop area. And one time she like got kind of angry at me and she's like, well, you need to go check out in the shop. It's like, so I looked at her and it's like, but Mom, I can't go in the shop. And I said it like that. And she's like, yes, you can go out and check. And it's like, all right, fine. I'm going to go out and check because I don't want to get a whooping. Because yes, I got whoopings as a kid. I mean, it happened. But anyway, so I went out and all of a sudden I see this brand new bicycle. It's like, I'm getting up for my birthday. So I play like I don't see it. And then my birthday comes up and all of a sudden I have to act like super surprised. So I told my mom, it's like, hey, remember that time you told me to go out to the shop? Yeah, I saw the bike then. Never told her that. But yeah, so I actually ended up having to act super surprised that I got a new BMX Huffy bike. I remember it was a Huffy. Because Huffies were kind of they weren't really the bomb back in the day, but they were at that point. Like for a low-income family.
They were super dope. They were super
exactly.
dope. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it wasn't the best bike, and you knew it. But for being low-income, it's like, those are going to impress the kids on my block, and any of me won't make fun of me.
Oh, you want to ride on my pegs? Hop on,
exactly.
Motherfuckers.
Like, that was a Huffy back in the day.
Yeah. I think, Des, you can agree on this one. As a kid growing up, we never had cupcakes in school, like for your birthday.
Oh, no.
Never had that.
Exactly.
We never had that.
No. Forced, like, pretty much forced, like, class participation parties, like, I've had to pay for with my daughter in school. It's like, why do you have to bring fit cakes to school? For a birthday party. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
That. But one year, they were like, okay, if you have a birthday in the summertime, the last day of school, we're going to have a birthday party for you. That way you can have it with all your classmates. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I was excited.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, that's a lot of cupcakes. And then I was like, shit, that's a lot of kids, too. So that's going to be a lot. So are we all to bring, like, 3 cupcakes in a piece to make up, you know what I mean? Nope, the teacher was like, no, everybody bringing enough cupcakes for everybody. And I'm like, all right, 20? That's like 5 of us. Not great at math, but that's a lot of fucking cupcakes.
Right, now, all of a sudden, I've got to go home and tell my parents we need, like, 20 cupcakes.
Yeah. So I was like, Ma, okay, hear me out on this. I need 20 cupcakes by tomorrow. And my mom looked at me and she said, cool, when are you going to make them? And I said, Mom, I'm 7. And she was like, cool, we're going to make cupcakes. So we made 20 cupcakes. Actually, we made 27. You know, the Buster dozen. And I ate 7 of them. And, yeah, because if you make cupcakes, you got to have sacrificial victims. You know what I mean?
You do. Like, whenever you bake and / or, like, cooking, you need taste victims.
Yeah.
Which is why the cook never eats as much during dinner, because you got to taste it as you go to make sure it's right.
I've been eating
Exactly. For baking, yeah, you got to have the sacrificial final product. You actually have to always bake a little more than what you're planning, or in some cases a lot more, just to make sure the product is right.
That's what the missus calls it. She's like, oh, that's the Buster dozen. When she makes, like, she's supposed to make 12, she makes, like, 17. She wanted to go in there and be like, what's this? And eat it. Not even ask if I can eat it. What's this? And eat it. So that's why she makes victims. I'm like,
exactly.
I noticed. I'm like, you're doing victims. I like what you're doing. So yeah, having it in school was pretty dope. And then watching eat 5 cupcakes apiece and then get real sick was really funny. Because anytime a kid got sick in school, you're like, oh, he threw up. Get the sawdust. This is great.
Exactly. Oh, that actually reminds me. I have a horrible memory from school where I got sick, had to hurl. I couldn't make it to the bathroom.
Throwing up in school is a death. It's like a death sentence for the whole.
I was like raising my hand. I was like, teacher, I'm gonna get sick. I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, go ahead and go. I was power walking because, you know, when you want to throw up, you don't run as a kid. You don't, like, you somehow know instinctively this is a bad idea. So you like power walk. I made it to the hall. I was like 30 feet away from the bathroom, and it happened. And it happened in such a way it almost covered from wall to wall in the hallway. It was like this almost perfect fan. Like, pretty much if you play D&D, and like that diagram of how like a red dragon's fire breath fans out.
It was a cone.
Exactly. It's like a perfect cone of influence, and it's like, oh god, oh no. And sadly, like 10 minutes later, like we had a bathroom break. So basically the janitor was still like sawdusting and sweeping up my vomit as we went to the bathroom. So I was like so red and embarrassed. It was awful. Like, oh my god. It was probably the most big moment I've ever had in school. And I was in like 4th grade. Yeah. Oh, it was awful.
I was like, oh, it was a cone, a perfect cone.
It was a cone. It was a cone of influence for all you D&D nerds. So Krillagov said last, but you know, he had more. If you could have been born in any time and any place in the past, when and where would you have been born? Buster, I'm going to let you take this one first, because I have a feeling I know what your answer is. And I have a feeling you know your answer. So, you go ahead.
No, I actually had a thought, but go ahead. Tell me what my answer is. I want to see if you got it.
I'm guessing. I mean, this is just my guess, and I could be like addled because, of course, I'm drunk. But I'm guessing feudal Japan.
You fucking
around. Yeah, it's like if I could likely guess, I'm almost willing to guess you would be born as Musashi.
The guy knows me. What can I say, folks? I mean, wow.
Oh God, that's great.
I'm just gonna hang up the Spurs on that one, kids. I didn't even need to answer that one. He knew.
That's great because my era is basically also feudal Japan.
Yeah. Alright.
We're too that fact. It's like I would definitely be born in any time in Japan, especially for some reason the feudal era. Like
Feudal
that
era.
fascinates me for some reason. And the fact that kind of like knights in Europe, like Japanese samurai were like super. I mean, they were private schooled basically. They were taught everything they needed to know. They were taught like language, like samurai. Even though they were kind of like knights, still weren't like as educated as samurai. Like samurai were educated about politics. They were educated about reading, writing, how to fire bows off horseback, how to off horseback or on the ground. Like they were super educated and prepped into their role. It's like, oh my gosh, like no wonder it's like it was like samurai code to seppuku whenever your master died, because like they did so much for you. It was insane, man. It'd basically be like a random stranger coming up and going, "You're going to work for me. I'm going to send you to the best private school in the nation, and you're 5 languages. You're going to learn how to like budget your checkbook. You're going to learn how to do this, that, and the other, and you're going to be like a borderline engineer." And like somehow like I said, how can you not feel like you owe something to that person that does that, you know?
And I'm going to train you to be like an absolute killing machine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like that was samurai back in the day. It's like, oh my god.
Fun fact
like,
is Musashi had his first kill at 12 years
exactly.
old.
12 years. Oh my god. And the founder of Nito Ryu, 2-sword style, man. It's like, oh, if my opponents use 1 sword, why don't I use
Why don't I just use
2?
Why do we have 2 swords if we just use 1?
I know, right? So, I mean, yeah, so it's crazy stuff. Because, yeah, I definitely agree with Buster in that area. I would definitely, that and I would have any reason to go to Japan during any time period. Because, well, except for that time period. I mean, around World War II, you don't really Japan around that time.
Oh boy.
You really don't,
No.
for obvious reasons. But pretty much any other time frame, I'm like super down to go Tokyo. But I'm talking like one of the outlying like prefectures, you know? Like
Kyoto?
like Kansai, like Kyoto, Kansai, something like that. Like not even the super tourist place, but you know, because I mean, of course, everyone that goes to Japan is going to go to Tokyo, but Tokyo is like tourist attraction. You want to experience Japan? Like I said, at the least, you go to Kyoto, because Kyoto, I think, is like the smallest of the tourist attractions. But yeah, you go somewhere like Kansai or something like that, and yeah, people aren't going to like speak English for you because not tourist place. I mean, but you're still going to get like the super feel of Japan in some place like Kansai. Like, oh god. And of course, Gorilla Golf, after being informed our birthday was so far apart, it was truly destiny. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was destiny for me and Buster to succeed in having this community of you amazing people, because we are way too similar. So we have to believe in some higher power pulling us together.
Yeah. Fate.
So switching over to the Lazarich, which I personally feel a little more active in his questions. You're slacking on us, Laz, but it's still cool because we still love you. Like, supremely. We're grateful, but you're slacking on your questions, sir. Do you think Bungie will bring current supers up to the level of new supers, or are we all running new supers and that's it? My fear is that we're just running new supers. But I am definitely hoping the fact that I believe Potato Thumbs. I couldn't even say Potato Thumbs for a second. But I believe even they said it's like, hopefully they've got like that ace in the sleeve. It's like, oh yeah, you're expecting these new supers, but here's these changes to your old subclasses and supers. I'm hoping for that, but at the same time, I'm a realist, so I'm hope for the best, but I'm expecting the worst. So I'm basically expecting, new supers. Because no matter what, I'm running like Way of the Wraith on Night Stalker now. Like 100%. If you see me in PvP, I'm Void Blade Dancer. Like, that's gonna be it. That's just gonna be it. I'm sorry. It's how it's gonna go down.
And let me just give you fair warning if you see us in PvP. If you see me pop my shield, and then Dez will probably pop his suit after and dodge and just blast through my shield to get to you, don't be surprised. That's the new shake and bake.
Oh, I mean, it was old shake and bake. I mean, good God.
Shake and bake.
It's like you
That's
pop
just
a
the shake and
bubble,
bake in general.
Yeah, it's like you pop a bubble and you got like 3 people. It's like, maybe I should challenge this Titan. It's like all of a sudden this crazy hunter comes up. It's like, Blade Dancer, you're all dead now. Oh, it's like the Fist of the North Star meme. It's like, all dead. Nani? Oh.
I get that reference.
Oh, God. Sadly, I don't know how to say Kenshiro's quote for that. Which would have made that all the much cooler, but again, I'm not that big of a weeaboo. I actually haven't seen Fist of the North Star, but I understand that meme, and I understand how he goes about. Because Fist of the North Star is almost, if not matching Dragon Ball in Japan. It's probably matching, but over here it's more Dragon Ball. Yeah. So, yeah. That is our revolutionary ideas. Gorilla Golf definitely coming in big, and Lazarin coming in with the alley-oop. Laz, get better for us, buddy. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying. I was like, come on. And Burning, you piece of... Still love you, buddy. Still love all of you people. It's like, good God. It's like I said in my tweet, it's been another freaking year, and you guys are just always freaking for us. It's like, thank you for being there. And thank you for listening to this drunk freaking episode.
I almost died.
Definitely went through a time where I thought I might have died.
We almost died. I'm gonna go throw up.
Oh, and thank you for posting the best Bison quote.
There you go, buddy. God. Happy birthday.
Oh, God. For sure. Like I said, say what you will of Street Fighter the movie. That movie's still the best Bison quote in history. The day that Bison graced your village was the greatest day or like the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
With being said, this is episode 112 of the RNG Drunkcast.
For sure.
We're out.
Later, man.
See you all next week. We don't even need to do sign-offs. You know where to find us. I literally feel like I'm gonna die. I feel like I'm gonna die. Like I held it back. I held it back real good. I felt myself going to the